Welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Scratch. All right, here we go. Ready, set. Friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Our guest this week is an HBOG. Just happens to be one of the biggest names in the music business. Co-founded and lead vocalist of one of the biggest American reggae, hip-hop, rock bands. He's been laying down tracks for over a decade, like probably 15, 20 years, getting 20 years. Holy shit. We're old. Their hit song, Vacation, 2017, went viral and catapulted them to a whole new level of stardom with over 6 billion plays across all social media platforms. Isn't that wild? It's fucking crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
There's no slowing these guys down. They just released their 8th album, Midnight Control. Go check it out, you guys. It's freaking dope. And we are beyond pumped and honored to sit down and welcome to the show our friend, Jared, Dirty J, Dirty Heads, Watson.
Woo!
Fuck yeah.
Hi, boys.
Can I tell you that I'm not kidding?
We're groupies.
No, I'm not a groupie, but I somehow always like go, hey.
Well, yeah.
Does everybody tell you that?
Yeah.
Which is,
I know Reese 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking nursery rhyme, you know?
But
When it can be
secret.
that simple.
yeah.
It's simple. Keep it stupid simple, man.
Yeah,
You know?
I love it.
Well, I mean, before we get into it, congratulations on all the success. You
Appreciate
guys
it, bro.
heard it, and you just obviously have such a unique, approach to a genre that's like mixed, which you guys stand out. I love it.
Yeah, it can get confusing for fans when you have a style of music where you blend genres.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't
Yeah.
do it right, it can just be fucking too much.
Well, I mean, the Beastie Boys were kind of the first in my youth
Agreed.
generation that kind of had that, and they were like, I mean,
Hip
They
hop,
were-
rock and roll, punk rock.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all good.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody really gave a shit. Which was, I think the Beastie Boys and Sublime were the first two bands who were like, oh,
sure.
you don't
Yeah.
just have to do one thing.
Definitely.
And then the 90s came around and there was a lot of bands that were trying to do too much shit.
Yeah.
So we were like, you got to kind of be conscious of like keeping a common thread through it. So I don't know, I'm stoked. I think we kind of figured out something pretty original.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's really
Your
like,
own
it sounds like
style,
us.
your
Yeah.
own sound.
Yeah.
Speaking of common thread, the reason why you're here is because you're a surfer. And let's start at the beginning.
Fucking
Where
surfers.
did you find surfing?
Well, just so all my friends can roast me, and they're going to anyway, I started boogieing in Surfside and
Dude.
Seal. Yeah.
Fucking dick dragger.
Yeah.
Ain't no shame in
Yeah.
boogie boarding.
Yeah, so I grew up in Surfside, like pretty much. So my dad's wood shop was, if you go to Campus by Caton now, where it's the Campus by Caton's a surf shop at Sunset Beach, where it's pretty much the warehouse. That was my dad's wood shop. So we would go to work with my dad when we were fucking, 4 to 12 or whatever, and we would just go up to the surf shop instead of sitting in the wood shop with my dad.
Yeah.
So, and my brother runs it now. He's been running it for over
Yeah,
2
Jesse.
decades. Yeah. So
What
he's
a
technically
perfect, babysitter.
Yeah, like
Stop dodging this, Jesse.
yeah. So growing up in the surf shop was rad, and I mean, technically Jesse's been working there since he was like 9.
Yeah.
Since we started sweeping the floor. So we just grew up in Surfside and Seal and started boogieing, and then that just developed into, we were like always in the water, and that just developed into kind of.
Was the
getting
wood
over-
shop connected to the building?
Yeah, there's a door that you can walk from the wood
How
shop
fucking
into the
epic.
shop. Yeah, it was pretty rad.
And what kind of stuff did your dad make?
Like cabinets.
Finished cabinets?
Yeah, finished cabinets,
Yeah.
shit, pretty much. Yeah, and
So he's a craftsman.
Yeah, we would just either sit on the job site with him or sit in the wood shop, listen to him and his partner dick around, or go sit up in the front and like kind of get picked on and hang out with the guys up there. You know? And it's crazy to like look at the Groms now, and we're the fucking guys messing with
Picking
the
on
kids,
them.
and like hopefully my kids will have jobs there and shit. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's like it's pretty much family. We've known Sato and Glenn, since we were born.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, retail, especially if you're a surfer, you want to work surf retail or skate retail, and be
Yeah.
in the mix because that's your life. It's everything you consume. It's so rad.
Where'd you guys grow up?
We were literally born in our house in Sunset Beach.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
you're in Sunset.
Yeah, and then we moved to just right around the corner in Huntington, and we always just grew up in Huntington.
Yeah.
And we moved over to Westminster. Yeah.
Whereabouts in Sunset?
I think it was 7th Street. It was more towards like Warner. I think
Off the Strand then?
Yeah, right off the Greenbelt. Like it was the
Wow.
apartments. What's super fucking crazy is that we got a manager when we were like 20. I think we were 20 years old, And we get this manager, he's still our manager now, and we're driving in Sunset. And we were driving down to Caton, I think, or maybe to like, we were getting some food or something. I remember driving his car, and I go to the apartments that I grew up in, or that I was born in, and I was like, man, I was born in those apartments right there. He's like, shut the fuck up. I was like, why? He's like, I owned like 2 of those apartments for like 2 decades.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like,
What a small world.
Weird,
Did you
right?
recognize
Yeah.
last name and where you grew up? I mean,
no, it was way after we were gone, but it was just kind of probably meant to be, yeah.
So going back, your dad would take you to the wood shop. You guys would just
Jet
hop
across the
across the street.
Yeah, to Anderson.
To
And just
Anderson.
go boogie or like
Yeah.
the hole or whatever, you know, and just kind of skate over to Seal. And like that was kind of our cruise. Just like I grew up skating and kind of boogieing Seal
Yeah.
and Anderson.
Hey, I boogied.
Yeah,
We all
it's
do
fun.
it.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And skated.
Skated.
And then, but you just get to one, you're like, okay,
So
I gotta stand up.
I'm a kid from Long Beach, and Seal Beach was the start of my surfing.
Yeah.
But in high school, dude, Anderson Street was our spot.
It was something.
It was
different
the
back then.
Inland Empire for us. That was our spot. Lakewood, Long Beach, Rossmore, like that was, Anderson was the spot for all of us.
Yeah.
And dude, for like 4 or 5 summers, you know, from junior high to high school, every summer would be spent at Anderson Street.
Yeah, it was good. I remember they dredged one year, and then like the following 3 years, it
Got
was
good.
like it got so good. It was
Yeah.
like Seal, but like more manageable and more makeable every fucking day
Yeah.
for like 3 years.
It's
God,
gone
it was-
through its like
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
been
left
funky.
hand point break sometimes back in the day. And what's crazy is the hole.
Yeah.
How good was the hole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had a
And I
run.
haven't seen it like the way it used to be, but fuck, man, the hole was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's terrible now. Don't go
Yeah,
there.
don't go there.
Totally ruined. I
Yeah,
would
it's bad.
never even look at
Sucks.
it.
Yeah.
But the yeah, I mean, the beaches, you know, and again, it's based on the hurricanes and the swells, and I think Marie or whatever we talked about it before.
Dug it all out.
Just the whole coast, everywhere,
Yeah.
lowers to Newport
Just
to
kinda
the
change the
whole.
bottom.
I
just
think though
change
it's
the
starting to
lot.
come back, especially this past.
Well, they're doing a ton of
Waves.
work in the harbor there, so who knows? Maybe sand's moving around.
So boogie boarding.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Like, why did you start off boogie boarding?
I don't know. I think it was because it was like something that's, I always try, I guess it goes to the fact that I'm always trying to find the alternative of the norm, you know, not knowing
bit
that it
different.
might have been the rollerblading of surfing at the time. Like it was just something different, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it was just the guys I was skating with bodyboarded, you
Okay.
know? And so I
Who's
just kind of
your
fell
crew?
in. That I boogied with and stuff.
Yeah, and
Just
skating.
young, like your little rat pack.
Yeah, it was just me and my buddy Jeff Azer. He was like the kind of the leader of like this little drop knee skate squad that I had, and like just a couple other guys.
Drop
just
knee
like,
skate
yeah.
squad.
Yeah, we would just like film our skate parks, film our skate parts, and like film our boogie parts.
How
you know?
funny.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
But Seal and like the wet. There's certain spots that every day there's boogies out. Like that's a spot. Like
Boogie
Seal Beach
boarding.
is a boogie board
That
spot.
was like the
especially
culture.
Southside.
Yeah.
Certain places it's probably not as prevalent.
Yeah.
Like where that's like you get hardcore like boogie boarders.
It was
Yeah.
fucking.
So
Yeah,
it's
Southside
kinda-
was gnarly. Like,
But it's kind of
yeah.
normal to see it. It's like, well, fuck, man, guys are ripping, getting barreled. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Seal Beach still has way more boogie boarders in their lineup than like Huntington used to. Remember,
And a lot of kneeboards when we grew up.
a lot of knee boarders, but a lot of boogie boarders. And this day and age, it's not as
No.
prevalent as it used to be.
Not even.
So what was your boogie board, bro? What was your quiver?
Probably custom X, drop me or whatever. Like I don't know, I can't remember. Like what was that? Paul Roach.
Paul
Roach
Roach,
was like
yeah.
my idol. You know,
The guy
like, his parts were
that
insane.
socked up Slater. And,
Oh really? He always had like Slayer, Pantera for
Yeah,
his part.
yeah.
He only drop me. That was like a drop me dude.
He was
you know?
a sick drop.
Yeah.
He's one of the best boogie boarders. He got parts in Taylor Steele movies. That's how good he is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, you do pretty fucking heavy turns. You
Yeah.
know, like it's,
Yeah.
you move a lot of water.
He was going up and like cracking the lips
Yeah.
and doing like big hooks and fans and stuff.
It was fun, and like especially just kind of surfing shore break and like going to Laguna, staying like in that like zone of just like searching for like shore break. I feel like even when you surf, like we surfed Golden West the other day, and for once it was good shore break since because that's where our surf class was for us was Golden West, and you used to have, it used to be so good. The
Yeah.
outside of the reform and the inside, and like a couple days after that day, I saw you in the water. It was like good shore break. I remember like we used to hunt just for shore break. When you
For
boogie,
sure.
like that's all you gave a shit
Yeah.
about. You know, you're like, let's
When you
just
could
go
get
do
that white water
Uh-huh.
and then the check and then the reform is like.
Plus, you wouldn't have a lot of surfers
But you're
either.
just, and you're just always having fun. It's like, you know, when you take your soft top out and you're like, why do I have so much fun on my soft top?
Yeah.
Because you don't give a shit. When you're surfing shore break, you don't really give a shit. 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't even get fucked up. The paddle's 2 feet.
Yeah.
You're just in a, like, it's like body surfing. You're just
Yeah.
out there
Little-
fucking around.
Little washing machine. You're
Yeah,
like, you know,
it's
get
fun.
the donuts. Get
G-Dub is so fun. That wave
When you can
has-
catch it at high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it crumbles on the outside a little bit and you can chip in.
That's it.
And just roll all the way in. Yeah. Doesn't get like that anymore though, I guess. Not at all.
Is this what you do the whole time? Just talk about spots that are good and they go, they're not good, don't go there.
It used to be that way,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
anymore.
4.2 to like 4.9 foot tide is pretty good. You know, once you get over 5, it has to be about 5, 6 foot.
So
12.
did you have a leash or no leash?
No, I had a leash.
Yeah.
I had like the arm
armband.
bicep leash. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I'm sure I just went through all the trends.
What fins did you use?
Vipers for sure.
Vipers,
Cut
okay.
the Vipers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Vipers and I cut them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Vipers were the
Churchills,
yeah.
Vipers.
Yeah. Always Vipers.
Gosh, what,
There wasn't that many brands.
yeah,
No,
there wasn't
that was
that many
it.
brands.
Scott
fins, yeah.
and Vipers and Churchills were kind of the 3 that dominated
Yeah.
when we were young.
You
Now it's
ever,
like a ton.
you ever try the wedge?
Yeah, we surfed a wedge all the time.
Really?
Yeah, that was our thing. It was just like we just surfed short
And the
break.
big stuff?
Yeah, a couple days. You know, I was fucking. That's all I gave a shit about was boogieing and skating. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of skateboard were you riding?
Um.
So this is 90s, right? Late 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what boards I was riding at the time. I didn't have any like other than Caden. Like I did a couple like AM contests, but it was more about just doing just filming your parts. You
Yeah.
know? And I was like kind of techie, but I liked doing bigger stuff. But like
Stairs?
yeah,
Ledges?
I think I was more like of a tech dude, and I'd put like hip hop to my parts. And I feel like that's so funny is because what I loved about
I
skating
can't
was like
picture you
you would.
being
What's that?
techie and hip hop.
Just skating. I'd rather skate ledges than anything.
Okay.
You know, I just wanted like butter ledges or
Who
whatever. you know?
were the guys you looked up to?
Oh, you know, I skated with who ended up being like super successful. He's a really awesome guy, Chad Tim.
Mm.
He's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And that
Did you
Chad
grow
was
up
like,
in our area?
he was in Los Al, I think.
Okay.
And like he was like,
Oh, that's
we were
right.
all like, fuck, we want to be like Chad.
Yeah.
You know, because he just was better than all of us. And
Yeah.
You know, he's like a surfer.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
just talked to him last week. He was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been surfing the cliffs.
He surfs the cliffs a
Fuck,
lot,
yeah,
him and
yeah.
Justin Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those guys.
Josh Harmony surfs a lot. He posts a lot of surfing.
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
it's rad.
Yeah, so that was the crew, and like that's what I liked about skating is you could tell what kind of guy, you know, like the music, like so skate videos were the first playlist. Like if you think about it,
Yeah.
skate videos were the first playlist before we had fucking playlists. Like you would watch a skate video and there'd be metal and then hip hop and then like some weird indie shit and whatever. But like each guy, if the guy had hip hop on his part, he was probably a tech guy.
Yeah.
If he had like some Hessian shit, he was probably a fucking Hessian doing like giant stairs and roof gaps and like
Yeah.
just stupid drops, like no flip tricks, just going super fast and kind of
Yeah.
getting fucked up. Like you knew what type of guy the skater was just from his music.
Yeah.
And you found all your music from that. 411, that's
Yeah.
where I found like Wu-Tang and all the underground hip hop at the time. Like
That's
True.
funny.
It is. It's a
skate
good
videos are on
analogy.
fucking playlist, man.
Yeah, it is because
I never thought of it that way, but you're right. Like your personality and your style, your music kind of matches.
All came down to like
Yeah.
what song you put to your skate park
Yeah.
or your surf park.
Yeah, because like
Totally.
when you say it was the first like
For me,
playlist,
yeah.
But surfing too,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, same.
and the Taylor Steele videos and the videos before that.
but we didn't get to choose. We just got.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
No. Well, we were
I
just
mean,
making our
not
own videos.
me,
anyway.
but
Yeah.
other athletes
Yeah.
got to. The guys, you know.
Yeah,
You had video parts.
I did, but
Yeah.
just you
that's the
know,
only reason why he's here. Bro.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get it.
That I gotta keep this guy in check over
Yeah.
there.
his claim to fame.
Shoots.
But yeah, I think that's how we found a lot of our. That's how we found Sublime for sure. That's how we found Wu-Tang. That's how we found a lot of the music that we listened to. A lot of the East Coast hip hop that we would have never. Where are you going to hear East Coast hip hop at that point in time? Not
Yeah.
on the radio.
yeah.
You know.
Somebody wanted it as their part.
Yep.
Yeah. So what were you? You were a tech skate
Yeah, I like my
listen to
parts. I
hip-hop?
put like yeah,
Okay.
I'd like mirror the tech guys.
Yeah.
You know?
And who is your
Kareem
rappers?
Campbell. Kareem Campbell. Oh, Skater. I thought you meant
Yeah, Skater too. Kareem
Skater was
Campbell?
Kareem Campbell, and then
Yeah.
probably like Far Side or Tribe Called Quest or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But yeah, Kareem Campbell was like my complete idol, and just through synchronicity and something weird, I actually ended up becoming close friends with
Did
him
you
about 5
dress
years
like
ago.
those guys too?
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So what, were you wearing DCs and
No, I
baggy?
never wore DCs. It was Etnies always. It was
Etnies.
always Etnies. Yeah.
Kareem Campbell though was he?
Oh, he did action for a while. Once
Yeah,
he did
action.
action, I 100% started wearing action.
Okay.
He just released them again a couple years ago.
Yeah, I heard he-
It's sick.
Yeah.
It's so, I mean, those guys have such, I mean, if you don't break yourself, those guys could have such a longevity of careers and stuff and stay
Yeah.
relevant, you know?
Yeah, and Tony Hawk probably didn't suck for him having this video game.
Too.
You know, that was awesome.
It's kind
So
of
much
crazy because we talk about this sometimes from time to time how, you know, in surfing, there's so many subcultures in surfing.
Yeah.
And skateboarding, there's so many subcultures.
Yeah, there's the
in-
Hessians, there's the tech kids,
Yeah.
there's the hip hop kids. Like it goes deep.
Yeah, because when I was younger, I'm a lot older than you guys.
Yeah, you
When we were growing up, it was like skateboarders and surfers and jocks. Like that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, you know, what type of surfer are you, right? Are you the hipster, alternative, twin fin, mid-length dude?
Yeah.
Or are you?
Yeah, you go to Daydream, or
Or-
you go to
yeah.
like Starbucks,
Yeah.
or you go like what coffee shop do you go to?
Or,
yeah.
right?
are you down at the shop checking out all the fire wires and the Hayden shades?
Yeah.
And you're like the most tech guy, the newest, you know, Lost model, and
Yeah.
carbon fiber wrap guy,
Yeah.
super tech guy.
Yeah.
And usually like, what type of music do you listen to? It'll all
Yeah.
kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah,
with
it's
all
so
those
funny.
things. Yeah.
But yeah, like even at skateboarding, especially because, you know, in surfing, there isn't that many, I think, offshoots of like styles, right? Surfing's, there's a couple, but not as many as like in skateboarding, I feel like.
Yeah, you're either kind of like an air guy or like a power turn guy or a steezy soul guy,
Yeah.
right? Like that's kind of the three,
Yeah.
maybe.
And I think a lot of it has to do with like personal physique and like how you identify with
Sure.
somebody.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
kind of what feels like whatever.
because like
your nature
music
is.
in music's a style, you know, like it's, you got to resonate with that, you know, like
Yeah.
certain music turns you on, you
Yeah.
know, style, same thing, like in whether you're goofy or regular, you're going to identify to, you know, certain styles of athletes. And if you're tall and lanky, you're probably going to want to emulate the guys that are tall and lanky because they're doing it the best.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're short and soft, you know, like, so there's that play too, along with the music.
No, you're right. That's why I like Kareem Campbell because he was tall and lanky. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I can
I like
identify.
that. Yeah, exactly.
And
and it's
if
all
he can
about
do it, I can
yeah.
do it.
It's all like even to the clothes you wear, to the music you listen to. You're all kind of peacocking to let other humans know what type of person that you are.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
But
So
it's kind of funny that if you look at a skateboard crew, there's way more diversity in there.
Oh, fuck
like,
yeah.
You know, styles and looks and
Yeah, it was cool. Like you didn't just hang out with like if you were a tech guy, you didn't just hang out with tech guys.
Yeah.
Like there was 2 Hessian kids, there's the tech guy, like there's
Yeah.
the gangster kid, like whatever. You were just skating, you know.
yeah.
It was fun.
And it comes back down to the sponsor, you know, like it's decks and shoes and hard goods for skaters, and it's, you know, it's more apparel driven on the surf side, like big, you know, branded like
Yeah.
apparel brands. So they're kind of stuck, you know, having to promote and wear, you know, where skaters kind of like, well, I got my shoe and I got my deck. I could, you know, you can kind of be a little bit more creative and,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit more personal.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, right? Like if you're a Billabong team rider, you're kind of stuck wearing Billabong. Quicksilver, same thing,
For
or
sure.
whatever. And they, you know, outside of a couple brands, you know, they're pretty much, there's not a lot of differentiation between like
Yeah.
the looks,
Yeah.
right? Like, even
Yeah,
though
it's gotta
surf
be hard
different-
too, so especially if you're like, if you do surf well, but you want to be more of like a hipster dude, but the only person that wants to sponsor you is Billabong, and you're like, oh, shit,
right?
I can't wear.
You're
any
kind of
this.
stuck.
I want to wear
Versus a
vintage
skater,
shoes and
Yeah,
fucking
it's like-
Dickies and
Big logos
Yeah.
and like jockey stuff.
like
yeah.
clothing on the skater side is kind of like down the totem pole when it comes down to like major sponsorships.
Yeah.
You know, so they can be like, I don't even need a clothing sponsor if you have successful other branded, you know, products.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right.
So then they
Yeah.
can just like wear
Did-
whatever.
Speaking of sponsors, did you ever get sponsored yourself or?
No, it was just like I got flow from like friends that were sponsored. You
Sick.
know,
What age did you form from boogie to surf? Like,
Right at the
Junior
end of
high?
high school. No, right at the end of high school.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
so I was on surf
Late.
class. Yeah, dude, I was in surf class, still boogieing. I was like me and like 5 other guys.
Well,
That's
they
what
need
I'm saying.
that.
Yeah, for sure, whatever.
They need
and
it.
then I was just like, what am I doing? And I only drop kneed, and it was just like, what the fuck? I just eventually started longboarding. That's what it was. I was like, oh, this is more fun. And then like boards got shorter and shorter, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, like this is.
I could go faster.
I could go
turn
faster and
fast.
actually put it on the rail and
Yeah.
do turns, which I was doing drop kneeing, but you were just, the weird thing was transitioning is when you're drop kneeing, everything's so heavy on your front foot when you do a turn. When you do a turn, you're whipping and you're putting all your weight on your front foot, you know, kind of when you're surfing, you're putting more of the weight on the back foot. That was like the only kind of transition thing that was weird. But, and like thinking about just getting barrels, that was kind of the thing, like we only kind of chased shore break and just kind of getting barrels,
Not
right?
long stand up.
Yeah, and then you get like one of those and you're like, oh, this is
Pumping in the
fucking
barrel?
awesome. Yeah,
Not
this is
just
like I
lock
get
and
why I was
loaded.
getting I get why I was getting kind of roasted for a while, but
Well,
it
plus
was-
you're,
is what it was.
you know, you're a drop knee bodyboarder, but that's even better than just bodyboarding, right?
Well, all my homies' things were just like, bro, you're halfway there.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
stand the
you're
fuck up.
skateboarding.
Yeah.
You're
But it was just going back to like everybody surfed, so I wanted to do something different. Just
Yeah.
like the music. Like we're not just going to be a reggae band. Like I don't think we're a reggae band at all. We're not a hip hop band. You know, we don't just do one thing.
Yeah.
We got like everything I do. I don't think I could just write. Unless I'm writing for somebody else, I don't think me personally could just write one genre of like we're gonna do this song this way. Like if
Yeah.
somebody, hey, let's do a country song for 30 Heads, I have to fucking change it
You'd have
somehow.
to
I have
tweak
to
it
twist
to-
it somehow, you know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like in my nature to do that. I think that's where I like looked at bodyboarding as it's just like kind of rebelling against what everybody's doing. But
Yeah.
then started surfing was like this is way more fun.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, for me personally, I remember, you know, my first wave and going, holy shit, you know, this is way more closer to skateboarding because I was into
Yeah,
skateboarding
yeah.
first. And yeah, I mean, the thrill and the elation you get when you finally stand up and you're pumping down the line,
Yeah.
right? You're just like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
And I think because bodyboarding took like it was kind of second to skating.
Yeah.
Like skating was the only thing I gave shit about until I found music.
Yeah.
I was probably 16 or 17. Like I wanted to be a pro skater. I wanted to get sponsored. That was going to be my life. It was like that or go to art school. And then I found music and I was like, oh, this is it. And then just everything was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And like I was surfing I was bodyboarding. We still like longboard when it was smaller and like surf a little bit here or there. But that was always kind of secondary to skating. And then it was secondary to music. And now, and then once I did start surfing, it just kind of became, everything else started kind of fading away. And then surfing just kind of became like, other than music, kind of my biggest hobby.
Yeah.
You know,
Surfing is a hell of a drug. We're still
it's fucking
saying that.
best. Yeah.
Well, music too. Like I think that junior high, adolescence, where you start getting exposed because you're kind of locked in with what your parents listen to, and then what's on the radio. You know, you don't really have the freedom as much unless you're really diehard young.
Yeah.
But you know, you're in that kind of like.
Junior high, high school is
But
when you.
but like
start
junior high
developing-
is you know you
Start
start
listening to other
and it's-
friends.
and especially
right?
high
Yeah.
school, you get freedom. You start going to concerts, and you know you're kind of on your own. You're hanging out with your friends more than your parents, and you know like other things, and that's when it just starts exploding.
So you didn't. What was your first instrument?
I never played an instrument. Still don't.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't play instrument. I don't want to fuck up the dynamic. Yeah, it's
Pick,
weird.
pick an instrument
Yeah.
if you don't know, and try to figure out which instrument this guy plays besides the skin flute. All right, like.
Why do you have to bring that up? The show's not about
just kidding.
me.
Let's just say it's part keyboard,
No fucking way.
part
No way.
air.
But can you actually play the accordion?
Yeah.
For 12 fucking years.
Whoa, bro! Did you take like lessons?
Yeah.
Were you like,
This
I'm
guy
gonna
plays
pick-
the
when did you
accordion.
I
start?
did not
When did you
pick
start?
it first off.
Was this when you were a
Third
kid?
grade.
Okay.
My mom, my neighbor.
Who the fuck plays
Jared.
the accordion? Right. And we thought that shit was dead and gone. It was like Pirates and then you, and that's it, dude.
Organ grinders.
Yeah.
So
Organ grinders. That's your,
my
that's your
neighbor,
band name.
It's so
my
good.
neighbor had.
Accordion.
The kid. His name is George. He was playing the accordion. My mom thought this would help keep me out of trouble. And
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Hey,
the logic is there,
I-
right? Tracks.
Fucking tried to quit plenty of times,
Oh,
and
shit.
my mom literally kicked me out of the house
Over accordion?
Over accordion. It was nuts. It's a
This
crazy
is
story.
insane.
Hey, I missed an accordion.
A recital or something?
Yes, not a recital, but a lesson.
Okay, yeah.
I went to a Valentine's party. This is 6th grade. I went to a Valentine's party. Told my mom the address to the place, to the house. She couldn't find it. I missed the lesson. She got pissed at me, and I had long, beautiful locks, and she fucking cut
Cut
all
them?
my hair off.
This is fucking insane.
Filipino
Over an
psycho
accordion. Oh,
lady.
okay, all right, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. But dude,
So-
actually, but now that you like it's so much cooler than if you said guitar, drums, or bass. I'm
Oh.
like, cool.
Yeah, that's
the
part of the
fact
deal.
that you can legitimately play the fucking accordion
For 12
is
years.
so sick.
If he did it
I would have
now,
that shit everywhere.
you'd have
Every
a-
party I go to, every meeting. I'm
Yeah.
pissed that you didn't play the fucking intro. Like, do you guys have accordion on your intro? Bro, I would fucking.
Embrace it now.
Yes, dude, that shit's so cool. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit that
Hey.
people play guitar. Who
I
gives a
played
fuck?
it at
Everybody
the
plays
Christmas
guitar.
Christmas
So,
party.
Sick.
so Curtisburg had these big, Christmas parties with all the staff and stuff.
that's I'm
and
dude, I'm impressed.
he literally he practiced quite a bit to do a song, and he freaking
12
ripped it out.
years, bro.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
That's cooler than any fucking instrument you could have said.
Right.
That's so legit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, dude, it's sick. You know what?
I give him crap for
Bro.
it, but it's super, it's got to be crazy hard.
So we just
All
dropped our new
instruments.
album, right? Midnight Control. And
Congrats.
there's a song called Island Glow, and it's a pirate story that we wrote a pirate story to this
Okay.
song, right? And we have this one part where there's this kind of B part to the chorus, a post chorus, right? And there was a couple sounds that we tried and nothing was working. I was like, dude, it's a fucking pirate song. Let's use an accordion. And my producer was like, no way, too hokey. It's too on the nose. And we did it, and it's fucking epic. It's everybody's favorite part, and we left it in there. And if I knew that you fucking played
Hey,
accordion,
you know what, I'm
we
gonna
just
play-
played it on the keys. I would have got live accordion in the
Hey,
fucking studio, dude.
Okay,
Just
I'm
like-
gonna find that song and I'll
You'll hear
play
it.
that at the beginning.
It's just one part. It's so catchy.
Okay.
Well,
You'll
just
love
like you did the vacation transition challenge, maybe you could do an accordion challenge if you could kick it off.
And we'll just every kid that's just down in the dumps right now about their mom making them play accordion should be like, fuck yeah.
Well,
you know what?
I
dude?
think those are extinct.
I think it's just got to be the States. No, because if you go to fucking Mexico, I feel like accordion's the instrument. You know what I'm saying?
Or Italy.
For sure. Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah, dude. That's so sick.
I'm gonna check
All right,
eBay
enough
right
about
now.
accordion.
Yeah,
Accordion,
enough
you
about
gotta
you.
get an accordion tattoo.
So-
but I just
So
thought it was
high
interesting.
school, you finally transitioned to longboarding.
Yeah, just the bodyboarding thing just kind of was so we got in a fight in surf class, and I was getting in trouble and a bunch of shit, so I got kicked out of surf class and had to do track or something like that. And then I was like, fuck this, kept skating, and then eventually found music, and that's when I kind of just stopped boogieing at all. And then when I got back in the water, it was surfing. I was going to start surfing,
Yeah.
And then just from there on out, I was like, why wasn't I doing this in the first place? But whatever, I was in the water, It's kind of, I still knew. The cool thing is that I still had everything with bodyboarding where to be, getting
Yeah,
fucking,
the ocean knowledge.
Exactly,
And,
exactly.
The
That's
placement.
exactly
The
the perfect way. It was like, okay, I'm just I don't get to be lazy and kick with my fucking legs anymore.
yeah.
What kind of longboard did you get?
The first board I had, I think, was my uncle's old Bruce Jones.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I started getting ECs, and then slowly just started getting into more short boards and Lost Guys with my buddies, and then now I'm riding a Seaside, which was my favorite. Rob Machado shaped me the Seaside that I had because I couldn't find any, and that's probably my favorite board. And then this twin fin Hoffman, the 6'2" twin fin Hoffman that I got from Kate, is probably probably my two favorite boards. I don't even fuck with short boards anymore.
Yeah.
It's even that or the other one. So
Have you tried any stamps?
I have not. It's usually because I'll know somebody that knows them.
Yeah.
I'll know the shape and that's all the boards.
One suggestion to add to your quiver is the Tim Stamps spark plug. It'll change it
All right. That's how I felt about the Seaside. I was like, what? When
Well-
people say oh, this board's super skatey, I've never really had a board that was skatey. I got the Seaside one. I was like, fuck. This
Yeah.
thing does whatever I want, whenever I want. It's so fun. Super
There's no-
skatey.
There's no bad boards anymore, pretty much.
There's a lot of good boards out there.
There
But
are.
the spark plug, bro,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you have one.
Fuck yeah.
They're in head high and under. It's the best board you
Okay,
can have in
okay,
Huntington Beach.
okay.
Especially the outside to the inside
Yeah,
forms.
yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Like the board just flows.
I think it's a lot. What you're on, it just flies quick.
Yeah, I just want to get into waves and
It's
go
just
fast. and
paddle's
have fun,
good.
yeah.
It's got the
Yeah.
forward volume, but it turns when you want it to turn, where you want it to turn.
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's
So it's got the best of both worlds. It's
Yeah.
super drivey and fast. Paddle's great because it's flat, but then when you want to like do a real turn, it can't. Like,
Are you guys sponsored by Stamps? Is that why you're doing this?
No,
Just
we
trying
just
to pump
been
your,
riding.
get your own quiver, just
you
get
know,
free
I'm just trying to get
boards.
some
I get it,
freebies,
yeah.
Tim Stamps.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Hook me
I
up.
also have another recommendation.
Xanadu.
Xanadu. His board is called the Zip that I ordered for myself. It's 5'6". It's fucking almost like it's like 2 3/4 inch.
Yeah, that's how my Seaside is. It's
Bro.
5'6". I think that's 34 liters.
Mine's like 30 something.
Yeah.
But that thing works insane.
Fuck
but the Tim Stamps spark plug is pretty fucking.
I'll check it out. I'll see if
Yeah.
Kate has them.
Yeah, we like boards.
Oh, I understand.
And you gotta have,
I don't need a new one right now.
Well,
I'm just,
Dude.
to stay motivated, to stay stoic.
Right,
Have one for every
right.
condition. Like whether it's even multiple boards for Huntington
Yeah.
or Southern California. It's rarely like bombing and
Yeah.
going off to where you need a high performance board.
The
It's
older
usually the
I've gotten,
cruiser.
the more open my mind is to riding different surfboards.
yeah, because you just want to have fun. I'm like, what am
Yeah.
I doing? I'm not
Well,
trying to get
Like I have
sponsored at
3
this point.
boards in my car almost at all times for any condition.
I rode that 6'2" twin fin on that big day, like
Yeah.
Monday or whatever, and it was fucking perfect. It was so fun.
Yeah, because you got time
Because
to
you
kind
get
of
in
set
there,
up your
yeah,
that's
that's
what I'm
kind of
saying.
drawn out.
That's a
yeah.
big twin fin.
It is fucking rad, man.
Because your regular one would be like 5'5", 5'6", right?
Yeah, so this was a 6'2" twin fin, probably 36 liters, and it worked so good.
Got
Because I only
everything.
kind of surfed it in like smaller, fun days where I could just get into everything. I was like, oh, this thing works in big ways.
I picked up a
Double eagle.
mid-length like about a year ago, 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. Best thing
They're the best.
Ever.
I mean, I guess the 6'2" is not a mid-length, but
so
it's kind of,
yeah.
It's 6'11" or 6'11 and a half, something super funky. Anyways, I saw Machado.
Twin fin?
No, it's
2
a
plus
single
1?
fin, but it has trailers
Oh.
on the side. And I saw Machado's Sunday board, right? That like,
Oh yeah.
it's kind of the mid-length board.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that looks so fun. And I was surfing Rincon, which is the best wave in California when it's on. And it's so hard to catch waves because everybody's on like bigger boards unless you're a freaking local and you're just doing the runaround. And I was fucking pissed I'm not catching that many waves because I'm on, when you catch a wave, you want to be on a high performance board because it's such a perfect coping and transition. Punker Pat comes running by on like one of his, retro length boards. And he was just doing this out in the lineup. Just kept catching waves. And I'm like,
But not running.
well, every once in a while,
Yeah.
but like he was just caught a lot of waves. And I'm like,
And he rides like a fucking 7.
so I'm like, I'm gonna get a board like that. No joke. I took it out there. First wave, it's like, fuck, am I gonna be able to like turn this like how I want to
Yeah.
turn? Fuck.
Who shaped that one?
Stamps. Yeah. So fast, you could stay,
Single fin with 2
two little
side
baby
bites.
side trailers, and it's got a pretty good, size single fin, and it turns and goes fast and kills it. And then I took it down to Los Gaviotas, and I rode it at Malibu. Like just the spots that are kind of like, maybe it's not enough energy when
Yeah.
slower. So fucking good. I again, like you said, Lyndon, not opposed to changing up and
Yeah.
adding a few different like alternatives in
Oh,
the
I
lineup.
love it.
Yeah.
It kind of just puts you in a different. It's like I said, like you always have the most fun when you bring out your soft top. So I was
Yeah.
like, why? Why? Because you don't give a shit. So I'm like, I need to start surfing boards that like I give a shit less about. When I
Yeah.
take out the driver, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on my turns today. Okay, I'm gonna compare my turns to fucking Simpo and Wardo and all these fucking and Teddy and all the guys. And I'm like, I'm not. What am I fucking doing? I don't even surf like that. I don't like surfing like that. Like I
Yeah.
naturally kind of surf in the middle. So bigger, like more. Like
Yeah.
wider boards are fun because I like to highline, I like to go fast, I like to draw everything out. Like I surf a little slower, I don't want to be so jittery.
Yeah.
Like fuck short boards.
Yeah. Go fast and you're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get barrels.
So surfing took over. Did you go on any surf trips when you were young or younger?
We went down to Gaviotas a lot. Probably once we all got our license, we would go down to K38 and Gaviotas. My parents would watch a house. Our family friends moved to Hawaii and gave us the keys to a place kind of down by K38. and then one of our friends found Los Gaviotas so that we could rent places, and then it was
So
like
cool.
every other weekend we were just kind of going down there.
How great
and then
is Gaviotas?
it's so rad. And then I've taken a trip down like the 12-hour like long Baja trips. We scored. That was really fun. And
I've
then
never done
I
that.
just fucking found out today I paid, everything was all good for a Mental Ice trip in September, and what's the name of the boat? It's like the big one.
Pelagic?
Yeah, it's that one. They fucking double booked us and they canceled today.
Fuck.
They're trying to push it back to 2024.
You were just telling me the other day.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
There's no other dates available?
No other time. Like it's like March and November, and we don't want to go and get skunked.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of like, we don't know what to do at
Yeah.
this point. Well, my thing is I have June, July, August, and usually September I'm on tour.
Yeah.
So it was like I called the band, I called my manager, and I was like, "This is a once in a lifetime trip. I'm going on this boat trip. Do not book anything around it."
I'll have to do some research. I think I've done a couple of like
Late.
November.
That's what I
October,
was saying.
Yeah.
And
I don't think you can
I
go
still
wrong.
and we got waiters.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's kind of saying is that
And
it might
there's
be a little
less
secret.
boats.
Yeah, it might be a little
And
secret. month.
very empty.
Yeah.
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 I'm down.
Have you been?
No,
Oh my
I think
no, just Hawaii.
He's been a
Baja.
bunch. I've been
No.
once.
out of, and I've done some really early ones, like March or April. I think April, May, and the winds weren't as good, and it wasn't as consistent. I think kind of that, if you're going to choose between going early or late would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
so
went in
it's-
October, right? End of September, October.
I think, yeah, it was like into September.
Yeah, I mean they started looking today, like just to see what it was now, and it's good this week, it's good next week, it's good
Yeah.
the week after. So because we're all ordering boards, I ordered 3 boards from Lost. I got like the driver step up, the driver
Yeah.
3.0, the mini. I was like, because my friend that shapes for Lost, they're in a band called Tunnel Vision, really cool, killer kids, and he's like, I just got back. I'm just gonna shape you the 3 boards that I have. Perfect. So it's like I have
You
3
already got
boards
tuned up on
yeah, and I'm like,
that.
fuck, I have 3 boards coming from Mentalize, and I just called him canceled. But I guess we'll either push it to 2024 or go in November. So we'll see.
Even if you push it, if you need some recommendations
no
on other
October?
places to go, let me know.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe just going to Central America in the time being. You know?
No October openings.
No, he said March and November next.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Well,
2000.
November's not bad.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
November
It's fun.
sessions.
November sessions.
Well, I would definitely. Have you been?
No.
You
But
got-
we'll get out there. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I jumped in last minute. Like these guys have been waiting for 4 years. They booked it before COVID. Like one of the guys just fell out like 2 months ago, and I just hopped in. So I'm not that disappointed.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck, our money's probably gone. Like we have to go whenever they're kind of like up to the mercy of the guys,
Yeah.
Logic guys. Yeah.
Well,
It'll happen though.
Yeah, there's no. It's definitely a trickle away.
It'll happen
Yeah.
without me. That's the thing.
Yeah. So it's just wait or go. Like there's
Yeah.
no.
If,
There's no
if
bad
November
time.
is open, you should take November.
Good to know.
Yeah. It's definitely, the winds are light.
Yeah.
There's the crowds are light.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
the thing about the Mentawais. If there's 2 boats or 3 boats, that's the max. If there's more than that, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And you spent all that money just to
Go sit in
surf
the crowd.
Southside
Yeah,
Huntington.
fuck that. Fuck no.
No,
Fuck
yeah.
no. I'd just be like, let's just find somewhere else.
It's
I don't
like
care
a
if it's smaller.
Especially
Yeah.
if you get the wrong boat, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's what everybody
where
was
there's
pumped on. was
too
that
many
boat's good.
aggressive,
Yeah.
people. Oh,
Yeah, there's. I've been on really great boat trips, and what I mean great is food, which is super important, and a captain that knows the fucking conditions and where to be, and talks to other boats and make sure you're not showing up at a spot with 4 boats.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been on super slow boats, but they had killer speed. But like everybody's like, I want the the
Logic
yacht.
is insane.
Oh for sure. But there's they figured out like if I have a slow boat, then they got a kick ass speed. Like we were on Bingtang, I think it's a sailboat. I think it went motored 6-8 knots. Like swells past you.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, and then when they put the mast, it made me go like 12 knots. Like still super slow. But their speedboat was like, they had like 3 like 200s on the back. Thing would do like 50, 60 knots.
That's sick.
In the right conditions. So the boat, we would jump in the speedboat, and then we would depending on the condition, be like, hey, the winds swell, so and so. We would go from Macaronis to HTs, which is like a 3-hour like boat ride. We'd be there in 30 minutes.
Wow, that's cool.
Damn.
And then
Yeah.
our big boat, which we were in this fucking tank, it would take like 5 hours. So they would just load up food, beers, drinks, extra boards, everything, and we'd load up and we'd fucking jet there, and they would pull up, you know, like later in the
At the
day.
end of the session.
Because they do all the
whole
driving at night.
experience
Yeah, so it's like the experience
It's
of
so
the
beautiful
the
out
people.
there. Like the sky, the island, the
You're
sea.
not making this cancellation anymore.
Well, it's making you want to go more.
No, we'll go for
right?
sure.
But they do all the big driving at night and stuff. You know, they pull up, and then most of them are pretty on.
Yeah,
you
he
know.
probably smoked.
Yeah.
Every night, just surfing all day. I was pretty excited.
It's the best.
Yeah.
So in high school, you're skating. You start getting into music.
Yeah,
you know,
and I had
like-
no. It was like I didn't even start getting into music. It was like just a shotgun to the face. You know, like I had no. I still feel weird when it's like people. What do you do? I'm like I'm a musician. I'm in a band. I'm a songwriter. I don't fucking know. I didn't plan on this.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like. This wasn't the plan.
That wasn't your
growing
career
up.
path.
No, it's like yeah. I was just like it was art school or skating, but it was probably art school. I was doing a little bit better at that. And then I met this dude, Dustin, one day at a house party, and he had these fucking cassette tapes of these like Weird Al Yankovic raps. It was just like these hilarious like 16-year-old, what you'd think a 16-year-old kid would rap about, like shooting machine guns, fucking dildos.
It's him,
for
though?
bullets. Yeah,
It's
and
Dustin?
just like jacking off in the tub and like tits and how gangster we were in like a funny way. Where I was like, this kid's fucking hilarious. So we would go to his house in a soundproof garage, and we would just make these absurd raps, just like these super offensive, absurd raps, just to try and make like the crew laugh. There was like 12 of us, and then everybody one by one slowly stopped showing up, and like it was just me and him, just writing stupid
slowly stop showing up.
Yeah,
like,
like,
we're-
these guys are
it's
on a
kinda
different
dumb.
level.
shit.
Yeah.
And then we were like, all right, and then we were like, fuck, I feel like you're pretty good. He's like, you're pretty good too, and we both really like.
Did
you know,
he have?
So wait, what-
he was already in a punk band. His brother was in a band. His mom sings. Like his whole family was like
He's a
super
musical
musical.
family.
Yeah, and I just like fell into.
So
this.
wait,
I was
what
like,
grade is this?
This was my freshman year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, his sophomore year. Yeah,
Okay.
and we started
So you're
fucking around.
young. You're like
Yeah, 15 or 16.
yeah.
So technically, if that's it.
So
like,
he had that kind of music background,
Setup, yeah.
in the setup.
Mhm.
So you just show up and you're like,
But
this is
rapping
awesome.
like comedically.
Yeah, and then what I would do is I would listen to like
Mickey Avalon?
No, way more offensive, like way more juvenile, like literally about like how my jizz tastes fucking like glitter, and like I got knives for hands, and I'm, you know, my dick's as big as my leg, and like, you know, it was just all stupid
Adolescent
shit.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just fucking dick jokes and fart jokes, right? Just trying to make the other guy laugh. But then we were like, man, you're kind of good. You're actually like pretty good.
It
at
sounds
this.
good. You just change the words around
Yeah.
and be like, hey, we got something.
And I would
So
practice
who,
at home.
who like famous is doing this?
Nobody. Nobody at the time. No, we didn't know. We didn't even think about it. You know. Yeah, and I would like memorize a lot of the like Wu-Tang raps or like the Charlie Tuna J5 raps, and then I would take the cadence and I would change their words and I'd use my words, and that's how I started like practicing having to get like cadences down and like stops and things like that. Like just getting wordplay right, because I was like started to take it serious, you know, and all I was like the rapper, right? And then it slowly, we were like, dude, you're fucking good, you're good, let's start a
Because
band.
rapping is such a weird thing, and like, in your opinion, what makes a good rapper? The way that he spits it out.
It's
in the cadence,
it's
right?
very personal opinion, because for me, I'm a lyrics guy, right? Like, there's not a lot of kids out there that are doing shit that I like J. Cole, J.I.D., like, if you're not saying something, like all the mumble shit, I don't give a fuck. A lot of the trap shit, it's just fake and kind of like, you know, we know it's entertainment. You didn't really live that life, so like, it's okay. But yeah, like if you can, even dudes like Drake, if you can add melody to your cadence, that's like, it's huge.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause if you can kind of, and if you can have something original to your cadence, because it's been done, everything's kind of been done, right? And I think that's another thing that's fun for me is every song about every subject has already been written. So there's been a million love songs, there's been a million breakup songs, there's been a million fight songs, there's been a million happy songs. So it's like, okay, how the fuck do we say this without saying it? Like, that's a cool piece, like that's a cool challenge for me. That's what I like. But I liked rapping because one, it came natural, and two, you can fit a lot
into
in.
rap
Huh?
already? Like, you're already into rap.
I was already into rap, yeah,
Okay.
like just from skating, you know,
Yeah.
like that's the music I listened to. That's how I identified as a skater, was I listened to hip hop. Like I listened to Slayer, like Metallica, and like Little Hessian shit, but I wasn't like a Hessian guy, right? I wanted to be identified as like a tech hip hop guy, right? So I was already a fan, but so when I started, it came really natural, and then I realized that you can fit a lot, and you can tell stories, and you know, it's like if you look at poetry and it's a really long poem, you're like, fuck, this is boring, what the fuck is going on? Or like songs where you're singing it, you can only fit, you know, 8 words in this 4 bars, where I can fit 16 words in this, you know, so I can get a lot more in.
Yeah.
So like telling the story and just like, it just came more natural to me,
So
you know?
you were into art
Yeah.
at that age.
Yeah, like drawing, comics. I was either going to be a tattoo artist. I went and apprenticed at a tattoo shop, or I was going to look at like inking comics, or going to or looking at art school. I had like they were looking at me for a scholarship, and then I said fuck high school. I didn't show up for government. Like it was a joke to me, so I just didn't graduate, and I didn't give a fuck. And luckily, I found music at that time.
Because art is like another like platform where there's so many subcultures within.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like,
And it's opinion, it's subjective.
It
sure.
really is. Yeah, it really.
but it's
really
like
is.
what? Yeah, you're like, you know, what kind of art are you a fan of? You know,
Yeah.
like
So 9th grade, you meet Dustin, you're
Yeah.
rapping in his garage.
Yep.
You're making offensive comedic.
Dick raps.
yeah, adolescent
Dick
kid shit.
raps. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but it sounded really good.
We were like, you're good. Yeah,
can
we
we
did
change
good.
Can we
Yeah.
change the lyrics?
And we were
around,
listening to
get
a lot
serious?
of Beastie Boys, a lot of Sublime,
Yeah.
a lot of Far Side, and a lot of really old reggae, like on vinyl, you know, like
Yeah.
a lot of old DJ stuff. And I think we were like, hey, why don't we just kind of do what feels right? And he had an acoustic guitar, and he was in a punk band, but it just naturally came to us, right? This kind of sound. The first 2 songs that we wrote, this kind of like acoustic, folk, like looped hip hop stuff where there was singing and rapping that we hadn't heard before. We're like, this is kind of original. We started playing shows around here, like at Mahe, the sushi place, or like little bars. And
Wait,
we'd
you
pack-
started playing shows?
Yeah, that was our first shows at Mahe in that little tiny room, and we would play shows with just a percussion player, me, and Duddy, with a guitar and just a djembe.
What was the other spot?
Like it was
Tsunamis
Martini
one.
Blues.
What was it?
It was Martini Blues for a while. Then it was the Brig for a while.
Brig.
Yeah. It was places like that.
Yeah.
Just local bars, right? And we'd start packing them with our friends. And then
At
Duddy.
9th grade?
Yeah, no, this was by senior year.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just fucked around from freshman year to senior year. We didn't take it serious. I think after we graduated, and both of us kind of like, what are we gonna do? It was like, I want to play music, you know. And then we started taking it serious. And Duddy would hustle, man. He came up with this idea to rent party buses and bus everybody from Orange County up to the Roxy. And we started doing that multiple times because we'd sell it out, right? So he would fucking call all of our friends and say, hey, I've got 30 spots in this party bus or 60 spots in this party bus. And we'd get like 4 or 5 party buses, and Dustin would go around and collect all the money. And we would bus all these kids up to
That's
the Roxy.
so smart.
And we'd sell the Roxy out, so all these people in LA were like, who the fuck is this band selling out the
From
Roxy?
Orange County,
Yeah.
like a little
wait,
underground,
yeah.
and all
So-
these people are showing up.
Yeah.
So hold on.
That's fucking
You
genius.
graduate school, you're going to figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And did you form a band?
Yeah. At that time, like right around senior years when we'd start playing shows, and we were like, okay, the Dirty Heads name, we had our style, we had a set, we had
How many
multiple
people?
songs. It was me. At first, we were doing acoustic shows. It was me, Dustin, and John, our percussion player. And then we got a DJ. And then it was just a DJ playing the tracks.
Okay.
John playing
So
percussion.
before,
Yeah, there was only 4 guys.
your first show ever was at Mahe?
Yeah, it was an acoustic show. Yeah.
And what, you were still in school? Or were you already out of school?
I don't remember. I think we were out of school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But we played high school parties and shit like that.
okay. So tell us about like the very first high school party. Like,
I don't remember. The first show that I remember was mine. That was
Really?
the first one that I remember.
okay.
Yeah.
And did you have like a string of songs, or
Yeah.
and was it what you were doing, rap and?
Yeah, we had this thing called the Dirty Demo, which I think you can get online. It's like 6 songs. And we went to this producer in a garage, and Dustin would write these really cool, very Duddy, like, you know when you hear Jack Johnson, you know it's a Jack Johnson lick?
Yeah.
You hear Jimi Hendrix, you know it's a Jimi Hendrix lick?
Yeah.
When Duddy writes a part, you know it's a Duddy part. And that's what I fucking love, because it's original. All our shit's just very, very original. We can do all sorts of genres, but when you hear Dirty Heads, you know it's fucking us. And I'm
Yeah.
proud of that, right?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
he was just writing these really catchy guitar riffs, acoustic guitar riffs, and then this producer would kind of put hip hop beats behind him, and then John would come put percussion behind it, and that was our show.
So you're starting to play at high school parties.
Yeah.
And like, I know you don't remember, but like the first party or the second party, were you like, fuck, these kids like us, like we're kind of good.
Yeah, no, you know what it was? It was Dustin's older brother had a band, HB Surround Sound, and we would get up and we would play 2 songs with those guys.
You're the opening act.
No, we'd play in the middle of their set.
Oh.
They would play like 3 or 4 songs. We would come up, and that's actually where the Dirty Heads name came from. I've lied in a million interviews about 10,000 ways we got this name, and it's not. We just had one song called Dirty Heads, and we would play that during his brother's set. And then people were like, hey, play that Dirty Heads song. We're like, that's our name.
Yeah.
You know? So we
HB
actually
Surround Sound.
we piggybacked onto those guys.
Do you remember that name?
I
I
do.
totally remember that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
so we would play with them, yeah. And then we were like, I remember we played the Observatory, and we were like, this is fucking
Because
amazing.
Observatory,
Yeah.
on Harvard.
which was like Club Rubber.
But it wasn't our show. It was his
No,
brother's band.
but that's like big stage.
big-
Oh, for
Yeah.
us, we were like losing it. Yeah, and we
that's-
were like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. We got off stage and I was like, Dustin, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. He was like, me too.
That's
And
so
from that
good.
day on, like I didn't have any doubts because I knew what we had was super original. I was like, we're gonna do this. He's like, yeah, I know. I was like, all right. We told our parents, and they're like,
Okay.
what the fuck are you guys doing?
To,
We're like,
to
"No,
make
it's
it
happening."
in the music industry
Yeah.
is, I mean, dude, it's fucking next to impossible.
Yeah, it could be hard. Yeah,
There's millions and millions of artists,
it's a lot of music.
a lot of musicians that never see the daylight of success.
Yeah, isn't that wild? Like
It's
how
fucking
many
wild.
how many Beatles do you think, like, not that sound like the Beatles, but how many bands that do you think have like come and gone that were as good as Zeppelin, Beatles, Metallica, like just Jay-Z, all these like there's probably been numerous
Yeah. Yeah,
amazing
I mean,
artists that
to-
should have been the best, but like they didn't find a manager, they didn't work hard enough, they got discouraged and they said, fuck
Yeah,
it, man.
yeah,
I'm gonna
There's
shut
so many
up. It's the
people pulling that talent into other directions because it's
The
about
luck-
being hard-headed and knowing and confidence.
yeah.
And
So
The luck that you need,
yeah.
and luck is manufactured.
Consistency and luck.
Yeah.
So it's the
Working
talent.
hard.
It's the talent and hard work conundrum, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's more important for us? We didn't really give a shit. We knew guys more talented than
Yeah.
us, but we didn't give a
'Cause-
fuck because we knew we'd work harder.
we talk about this on the business side. People starting
Well,
brands
not just
too.
business, but surf.
Just everything.
Think about like you, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the best surfers to ever come out of Huntington.
I agree, man.
Right?
I agree, bro.
Not
So-
about me though, but
And-
I got one
and-
vote over here, bro.
And like,
I agree.
his success is pretty good. Really good.
You saying I should have worked harder?
No, well, you should have got a coach. But
This compliment backhand.
Wow. There was coaches back then.
Yeah.
but
I thought you were my coach.
So you know what I'm trying to say is like he had tremendous talent, but you need something even more. You know what I mean? Like
He's just.
I'm not burning you.
I don't know. I'm not looking at him.
no, but
just
seriously, like how many professional athletes,
Yeah.
professional surfers, athletes in general are there in this world?
Right.
Not very many.
Yeah, it's
how
fucking
many
hard.
successful musicians
Yeah.
and bands are there in this world? I mean, your line of work, there's probably way more casualties. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So many other people that tried to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I'm proud of the guys.
But again, we're
Proud of
talking
the team.
to an artist and musician, and you're talking about surfing. I think it's in every aspect of life and career choices and talent.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where we there's no formula that if you check the boxes or you do X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z or ABC and you're gonna be
Well,
successful.
And
There's-
like everybody's path is different. How
Everything.
you get there is going to be different. Yeah.
So this is pretty cool. You do all these shows, the high school stuff.
Got Mahe.
You're playing with HB Surround Sound. You have a song called Dirty Heads that turns into your name.
yeah.
And then you start. So you would be playing at the Roxy.
Yeah, we were just shipping our fans up to the Roxy. We were just shipping our friends to the Roxy to make it look like we fucking just crushed.
Yeah.
And like LA
Who gave you
did.
that guy's that
Yeah.
you guys that idea?
I have no idea. That was Dustin. He just like came up with it. He was just like,
Like,
yeah, I gotta.
Because that's genius.
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
you know that's a hot spot.
Yeah.
To
And we know
get
people-
noticed.
there's eyes on it. At
There's
the time.
eyes on
yeah.
it, but how do you pack the house and you're coming from down here?
Well, first off-
nobody wants to drink and drive.
how do you book the Roxy?
Dustin did it all. I don't know. He probably called them and said, "Hey, I got 500 kids that'll show up." And they said, "All right."
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Roxy is
Yeah.
everyone knows in
Yeah.
in the LA scene, in the music scene, Roxy is a
Yeah.
stepping stone to the next thing, right? And to make that appointment or like connection and go, hey, we're this band called Dirty Heads from Huntington Beach, and then they go, okay, well, hey, I mean, how many bands hit them up, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's where the hard work and the hustle and like just
market
grit and like us not giving up. Like Dustin just figured out a way to fucking get to the promoter. And
So
so
was
did
it
Nick, like,
pretty
you know.
quick in your history? Like,
It was extremely quick. From when we graduated high school to when we got signed with Warner Brothers was 3 years.
fuck.
Yeah. And then it was 1 year from when we got dropped from Warner Brothers because streaming showed up when they didn't know what to fucking do. It was like we got signed to Warner Brothers, so I was like, gold Lamborghini, buy my mom a house, let's fucking do cocaine. Where's the hookers and the heroin, right? I was like, this is gonna be amazing. And then like 6 months later, it was like Napster, fucking Pirate Bay, like all this shit. And Warner Brothers was just like, we don't know what to do with you guys. We're losing so much money by the fucking hour. Like we're dropping all new acts, and we were like, "Fuck!" We didn't know
Before
what
we
do.
get to that
Holy
part of
shit.
the
Yeah,
story,
wow.
Because that's part of,
Yeah,
So you play Roxy.
Yeah.
Is that your first big?
the Roxy was, I would
Yeah.
think, yeah.
And how was the first show?
It was sick. It was just a bunch of our drunk friends.
Yeah.
You know, doing what like we knew they were gonna do. So
Yeah.
we just like they were raging. We knew it was gonna look good, and some people showed up, and that kind of got eyes and ears on us. You know, and then that's what got us a manager within a year of us probably graduating high school.
Wow.
A year or two, yeah.
That's so. The trajectory is so quick.
Yeah, to that point, you know, but we knew it. We
And
like knew it
who
was
was
gonna
in the band? Who
Yeah,
was?
At this time it was me, Duddy, John, our percussion player, and this DJ Rocky. That was it. There was 4 of us at the time, and then we just slowly added real band members over the years. Once we started making money and we were available to do that, because we just didn't have the money to pay anybody to do it.
So Roxy was your first big like marquee, and then
Yeah.
what? Like you
And
got the
then,
manager.
I think we just stayed local at the time, yeah. And then we just started playing like just LA and Orange County and different venues. And we got hit up by this guy named Cheese one day. We thought he was full of shit. And he sat us down and we had lunch and we were like, saying that he had ties with Guns N' Roses and Kid Rock and all these music industry people. And we were like, this guy's full of shit.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Who is it?
he wasn't. Our manager, his
Cheese?
name's Mike Brown. His nickname's
Oh.
Cheese, yeah. And he wasn't full of shit. We were signed to Warner Brothers within probably 12 to 24 months after
So
signing him.
what does that mean? What kind of contract and what kind of money?
Well, actually, the cool thing about him is he knew this was going to be a hustle. We had like a normal contract with him, which is 15% of whatever we make, right? But then we got signed to Warner Brothers, and the streaming thing hit, and he knew it was going to be a long road, so he didn't take commissions for 7 years.
Wow.
Dang.
So when I don't know if you know the details of the contract, but when you sign to Warner Brothers, 'cause that's a huge.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
We got like $250 for the album. I think we got $500,000 altogether to do the whole album for like just that album cycle.
3 years after you start
Uh-huh.
the band.
Yeah, and we spent a year recording the album. So yeah, it was we got signed to Warner Brothers when we were 20, and by my 21st birthday, we had just finished up the album. It took us 12 months to do it, and we had like $250,000 to do it. And we were just like learning the whole time. That's why it took us so long, because like I'd never sang before. Like the song "Stand Tall" is the first song I sang on. Like that was the one that got in the fucking penguin surfing movie. And we were just like learning through this and like yelling at producers. They were yelling at
Your
us.
song was in the Penguins movie?
Yeah, Surf's Up, dude.
We
Come
did-
fucking
we
watch
did-
that.
We just watched
Actually,
that.
I know.
like
Yeah.
fucking gold, dude.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Classic.
It's
We just watched it, so we
CMC
need
or
So
whatever.
wait. Your song went into.
Why do you act so surprised?
Yeah.
I am surprised because I
His
didn't know.
compliments are
We
so
just-
fucked.
We just watched the movie a fucking month ago.
We did, but I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, he said he was a fan at the beginning of this.
I am a
podcast,
fan.
too, yeah.
But I don't know all the details. So, anyways,
You don't know.
So you record.
You mean the songs?
So you record an album. Is it totally different from like your
Our bedroom?
Your demo.
Fucking
like-
no idea. Like, there was like so many
well,
arguments.
you just said a funny thing. You hadn't sang before.
No, never. Yeah, never in my life. And they're like, try and sing this. And I was like, no. And I got in there, I was like, okay, maybe I can. give it a go.
All you did was rap.
At the time, and that's like all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know? And they're like, no, your tone sounds good with this. I think I came up with a melody or something.
You started
so
singing after you got the contract.
yes.
And
really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you have the album, like, did you have enough songs to create an album when Warner picked you up?
No.
Like,
no, not at all.
So
you had to write
The vision was completely different. The Dirty Demo, like, we didn't have choruses. It was a mess. It was just like really catchy parts.
like 6-8 songs? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like these really catchy parts, and that's what our manager, he's like, you have such catchy parts, but you have no structure. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. We're like, you're right. And then
It's like writing
producers
an
are-
album.
Yeah,
You know,
you
it's
just
like
like-
you got all these chapters. Like,
Yeah, where do you put them? How do you structure? And like
Fuck.
structure's so cool and fun to me now that I've been doing it for so long, and looking at other band structure and looking at song structure. And sometimes it's so simple. It's something as simple as just moving the chorus to the front, and that'll catch somebody's attention. Taking the chorus away makes it feel different. Do you need a bridge on every song? What, you know, working with Dave Cobb, he didn't give a fuck about what a chorus was, what a verse was. He's like, don't call him anything.
Yeah.
And that was really funny. I was like, well, this is the chorus. He's like, I don't fucking care what you call it. I want 3 to 4 of the catchiest parts you've ever written in your life, and then they'll decide what the chorus is. I was
Wow.
like, okay. And that was like,
So
you know, 4 years ago. I'm
the
still like-
thinkers, like you had the talent. You had the thinkers from
We had the
Warner
talent,
Brothers that just said, hey, they see the talent.
There's
they just,
something
they're
here.
they're trying
Yeah.
to just structure it for you guys.
So we got with some producers and sat in the studio for 12 months and like fucking grinded 7 days a week, 6-7 days a week. We had nothing else going on.
Were you
you know?
blown away on the
Hey,
studio and shit?
It was 1 block away.
Shut the front
Yeah,
door.
it was at the end
Studio
of
was?
17th Street. Yeah, it was 1 block away.
What?
Yeah. At the end of 17th Street. 17th Street studio. We sat there for a fucking year. Yeah.
Michael McFadden's?
Louis. His name
Okay.
is Louis.
That's so
I don't know
nuts.
his name. Richards. Louis Richards. Yeah.
It blows me away, again, what you get a contract with fucking Warner Brothers. It's crazy. It's crazy to fathom.
Yeah.
You know, to get, because you have thousands, millions of fucking wannabe musicians, you know, and some of them aren't wannabe. Some of them are serious, diehard, you know what I mean, artistic people that just don't have the whatever the it factor is. And you guys had more it than really.
I think the originality of it is
Yeah.
what got them. They're like, we've never heard anything like this. And that's been a blessing and a curse our whole career. Because people don't know where to put us. So we just have to make our own lane and stay the fuck in it, and we're cool with that.
Because when I think about it, right, like when you say you got signed and then you weren't a singer,
Yeah.
and that's a big thing what you do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and
sure.
you weren't a singer, but you get signed by this label,
Yeah.
and you know you had the 6 songs that you said they were cool and they were catchy, but it wasn't a complete,
Yeah, they were willing to develop us.
right?
You know? Yeah.
Like it was like, it's like, for me, when I think about it, it's like the car that looks clean, but then you look under the hood and you're like, whoa,
It's a pile of
you
shit.
know, not a pile of shit, but like,
It's a little
oh
guy.
shit, we need to fucking,
Yeah. Tune it up.
tune this thing up, and that's
I mean, we have no idea what the music industry is like.
Right.
That's why we're asking like
yeah.
these
It's
random
pretty
questions.
really
cliche. It's
interesting.
pretty cliche.
But we're just thinking, okay, if how many besides Warner Brothers are out there going after new talent? You know,
Yeah.
so they see you, and I'm sure they did their background. They saw you guys
Sure.
selling
Saw
out
Roxy
Roxy.
sellouts, yeah.
They see you, and again, look, stage presence, being able to handle yourself, because it's one thing to record an album and have a good thing, but you got to be able to fucking show up to whatever
Yeah.
venue and handle that pressure and handle that,
Yeah.
which is
So-
a big part of it too. Right?
Yeah, that's what I think, didn't save us, but that's what we leaned into once we got dropped from Warner Brothers. And I gotta give credit to Warner Brothers and Tom Wally at the time, because he was like, hey, we can take this album and we're gonna use it as a tax write-off anyway, and we can take this album, we can put it, not in an actual basement, but we can shelve it and just put it in a basement. It's never gonna see the light of day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that to you guys. This is a weird fucking time. Here's the masters. Here's your album. Good luck.
Wow.
And just pat
They
us on
gave
the back.
you-
Yeah.
Hey, hats off to them.
Yeah,
And
and
also
Did they
then-
give you 250?
We spent $250. You know, yeah, we spent it. And,
and
So he said something, stage presence, right?
Yeah.
Now, did you guys have like an act? Like, did you?
that was learned. You know, that was just definitely learned over the years. There was guys that I looked up to, and you know, watching other bands, and we did Warped Tour, which was it was so rough, and it was just such a.
Was that after you got signed?
Yeah,
And dropped?
yeah. So after we got signed and dropped, all we did was tour. We just said, fuck it, we're not even going to worry about it. We're just going to put this out on our own, and we're just going to go out and fucking tour. And we actually, no, we didn't put it out on our own. We toured on an unreleased album for like 4 years, and all we did was play shows with just the music that you could see at the show. We didn't even have, like, we might have had another like EP out from that, you know. And I think shows like festivals, a lot of festivals and things like Warped Tour are really where me personally I got my chops, and I think the rest of the guys, but as a front man I got my chops, because what I learned from Warped Tour, because most of the people at Warped Tour did not give a fuck who we were and did not like the music that we were playing, was that I don't have to give a fuck about them. I don't have to say shit between songs. I don't have to be funny. I don't have to entertain you if I don't want.
You gotta fill a time slot.
I'm here to play my music, and if you don't like the music, walk somewhere else. Go get a fucking beer. But we're gonna play the songs that we're playing as well as we can, as best as we can. And that like whole kind of a shocker was like, dude, this is gnarly. I gotta really quickly learn how to either win these people over or show them that we're not going anywhere. And that really raised, like, as a frontman, like, oh, okay, I don't have to people please while I'm on stage. I'm just here to play my music. If you don't like it, there's 10 other stages. Get the fuck out of here.
Which is crazy listening to you say all this stuff. So going back, you get dropped by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
How, it's because of Napster.
Yeah.
Streaming people were just ripping off.
People stopped buying CDs.
People stopped buying CDs, so they're like, oh shit.
We don't know what to do. We got to concentrate on Red Hot Chili Peppers, Avenged Sevenfold, all the just the big boys that were making the money. They had to just save those guys, drop all the new acts.
And they gave you your
they gave us our masters.
Your masters,
we
which
owned
is
everything.
huge.
You're fucking massive. Like
that's forever.
So you had to pivot.
Yep.
You had to pivot and go the touring route to
which
sustain.
we were planning on doing anyway, but really we had no other choice to sustain and make a living.
Did your agent get you the work gig?
Yeah, our manager. Yeah.
So I mean, are you
Because
making
the work gig is
Are you making
huge?
Yeah, having a good manager with connections is a big part of this game.
Yeah.
You know?
But you're able to survive off the Warped Tour and doing some other shows, and then are you selling CDs or LPs
He's smiling.
at these events? Like,
Yeah.
Like,
When you
We're
say
selling,
survive, what do you mean?
Yeah, live in a van for 200 days a year. We were touring over 200 days a year.
Well,
And I lived with
at
my
that time,
parents,
you're surviving.
and the guys, like, you know, John had a job that he could leave. He was like stocking beer at Vaughn's, you know, and Duddy was like a waiter or whatever. And we were just able to make it work when we came home and hustle when we came home and do whatever we needed to do, sell weed, whatever the fuck we needed to do while we were home for the 100 days or less than 100 days a year. And we were literally in a fucking 15-passenger van for 200, 250 days a year for 4 or 5 years, 7 years maybe.
So you
know,
didn't
and we
have
just
roadies,
grind.
you did it all yourself.
All ourselves. We had
Yeah.
one guy, maybe one tour manager, you know, that would do sound, and we just fucking grinded.
And you were talking about stage presence, charisma, all that
Confidence.
shit.
Yeah.
You have to develop that.
sex appeal.
Yeah.
Fine.
Charisma,
Let your dick
all
fall
that.
out. Yeah.
Hey,
Leave the zipper down.
Yeah.
You know, and oops.
So what bands were playing with you, or who
There was this band, The Gallows, that I'd go watch every day. There was this fucking ginger, just maniac hurricane of a man, this fucking dude from the UK, and they were like kind of hardcore punk, and he was just so fucking sick, did not give a shit. He'd run out into the crowd every night, and I just would watch him every day, and I'd just like learn. And I was really into
I wanted to
Incubus.
zap
loved
it. I mean, I was gnarly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I'm not going to be that aggressive.
Yeah.
But I have to look at this guy's fucking confidence. He's jumping in the crowd. He's interacting with his fans. He's like noticing who's giving a shit and going up to him and kind of like having fun, just like watching these different frontmen. And even Matt from Avenged, that was a friend of mine. They were always, 5 years ahead of us doing what they're like on the success thing. I'd go and I'd see Matt. Like they'd sell out Long Beach, fucking the place with the fucking whales on it. What's that? The convention center.
Yeah.
I'd be like, holy fucking shit, my friends were selling this place out, and it was just inspiring. Or I'd go see Incubus, and I'd be like, it's funny, I'd be like, I like the way he puts his hands, I like where he puts his feet, and I'd start like emulating these other frontmen, and eventually be like, this is fucking cheesy. Why am I trying to do things like there? And then you just eventually, I just remember just like dropping my shoulders and being like, I don't fucking care. This is what I look like on stage. This is how I feel. Whatever the music is making me feel, this is what I'm doing with my body. It's like one of those things where the first couple years, you don't know what to do with your hands, and then you just stop giving shit about your hands because it's not about your hands. Stop thinking about yourself. Just play the fucking music.
Yeah.
You know, and once you get that, you're like, oh, all I got to do is come up here and play the music that I wrote that I like, and that's when
Not overthinking it.
Not overthinking, yeah.
Because you're analyzing, you're learning, you're analyzing everything, and yeah, you're kind of like,
And you're young,
I gotta
you're
be
worried,
robot, you know,
yeah.
almost comes to be robotic and not free.
Yes.
You know, you're like, this is a fucking full-time job. It's like, no, this is our passion. It should be a lot less work than this.
Yeah, there was certain.
Band touring, I mean,
It was
you
rough.
guys, you
But at
guys-
the same time, we were young. We didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Looking back on it now that we're in a nice cushy tour bus, we get catering every day.
Yeah.
My family's out there. I got my own tour bus. We
Yeah.
have nice hotels. Looking back, I'm like, how the fuck did we do that? But at the time, I was 21, dude.
Grinding.
We didn't give a fuck. What else were we gonna do?
Yeah.
Work at a tattoo shop? I didn't, or I was just gonna party at home. So we just fucking raged. We just partied every night for 200 days a year. That's why I'm sober now, bro.
Yeah.
I just fucking
You
did
partied
it.
your whole
Yeah.
life in
Yeah.
this fucking field.
Longer than most people are gonna party in their life, you know.
So your manager, Cheese, she says, hey, you guys are going to play the Warp Tour.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've never done a tour before.
We might have done we had done a couple up until then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just saying
like-
that was as a front man, I think that was a turning point for me because that was one where people really weren't enjoying our set sometimes, and that's where I was like, it's okay.
That's got to be weird, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
That's why you're
come-
partied.
Yeah.
At the time, you're like, well, fuck it, I'm training, so I'm gonna use this as a crutch, and then, you know, it's just like, one, you're insecure. Two, you think it makes you play better. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, it just takes the edge off, and you know, you're playing 10 people some nights, you're playing 100 people some nights, you're playing, you know, it's hard. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
the lead up to these bigger and bigger venues has got to be like anxiety ridden.
Yeah, and I was a pretty anxiety-ridden kid anyway, and then that just like fed into it. But it was funny. It was like I was kind of doing it to myself. I knew, and there was just something about it that I knew we weren't going to quit, and it didn't matter. Like the anxiety just didn't matter at that
Yeah.
point, you know.
Because when you hear that, hey, you're going to do the Warp Tour, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty
Huge.
prestigious.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
huge.
Yeah.
And then you like, oh, how many people go to that? You know, because you've played big venues, but then Warp Tour, I think, is probably even bigger.
Way bigger than the venues we were playing, and then but also, you know, some days you're playing at 10:30 in the morning, and there's 5 people there. You know,
Oh,
the next
shit.
day you're playing at 2:30, and there's 300 people there.
Yeah.
You know.
You never
So
know.
the popularity, the more popular you got, the better time.
No,
No?
it was a fucking roll of the dice every day.
Wow.
Yeah. For the stage that we were on, actually, it was unless you were the headliners, you didn't know if you played at 11 that day, or 2 that day, or 4 that day. And then after about 4 is when like the headliners would, you know, the headliners with direct supports would start at like 5 or 6. Those guys were kind of set, you know. But everybody else, all the lower bands, every day it switched, and you had to set up your own merch, and you had to drive all night. No tour bus, no driver. You just had to. And this is the thing: is we all would play this game where we'd see who we wouldn't see. You try and get more drunk than everybody else, so you didn't have to drive. You'd be like, "Wow, super fucked
Dude,
up. I can't drive tonight."
I would win
You know,
all the
and
time.
like,
Yeah. I'd be the fucking, who's the best drunk driver? I'd be like,
It was a
fuck.
lot of that. Yeah, it was a lot of road years.
Yeah. So you talked about merch and selling stuff at these venues because again, you're probably getting a flat fee, you know?
Yeah,
It's probably not a
It's covering
ton,
gas and
but like
You're not
Certain-
making
pay for the guys.
but certain venues probably could sell a decent amount of merch or
Not at the time.
No.
We were just grinding at the time, yeah. But that was just one step. You know, that was just all these little things were just one step.
Yeah.
Step. It was just one little thing that would break you to go to the next level, you know. And then I think from Warp Tour is I'm not sure if Lay Me Down came out before or after, but we had done a song with our friend Rome. Our manager had showed up to K-Rock to talk about Sublime with Rome because they had just been put together. And he was talking about Dirty Heads also, and he was like, yeah, let me hear it. And my manager accidentally put this song's, an unmixed demo of this song called Lay Me Down on the CD that he was playing that was supposed to come off the album that we recorded for Warner Brothers. And he played the first 3, and Kevin from K-Rock was like, no, not into it. And then the 4th one just came on, and my manager was like, oh, what the fuck is this? He's like, oh, this is an unmixed song. This is a demo. I didn't mean to put this on here. And now when one was Kevin was like, oh, I want to put this on the radio. My
Wow.
manager was like, okay, that's when, like, when you're talking about luck, it's all just consistency. It's like consistency and luck, and then these things just kind of just happen. Yeah. But if you're not showing up, then they're not going to happen. You know, if you don't buy a lottery ticket every day, you're not going to get the lotto. You're not going to win the lotto. So we were just fucking buying tickets all day.
That song would have probably eventually hit like at some point somewhere, you know, but it happened.
That was
that way.
That was a breakthrough.
Yeah, that thing fucking crushed. That thing went to #1. It broke a bunch of records. We were independent. Broke all the independent things. It was above 30 Seconds to Mars. It was above fucking Blink. All these other motherfuckers. And that's where we went from like 100 kids a night to 500 kids a night, you know, and then you're steady 500 kids a night, and then that's where we're like, okay, so this is how we do it. We fucking keep the blinders on, we keep our heads down, we keep doing the same thing, and these things are eventually just going to keep happening because we're always around, we're always working, we're always grinding, we're putting out good music. We're not fucking
out of sight, out of mind. These guys are hustlers. They're freaking. It's going to turn on.
Hard work, man. Yeah. Hard work beats talent. Because I saw talented motherfuckers just dropping off, and we just keep.
Well, that attitude and stuff, and being able to weather, you know, and be patient, and weather the storm, like, you know, because it's.
Yeah, and it's like hard to like give somebody advice to be like, have a backup plan. But like also, when you don't have a backup plan, you have no choice.
Yeah.
You know? But like, I don't know if I'd tell my kids to not have a backup plan. But we didn't have a backup plan, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like we had to make it or not, you know? And but we knew the talent was there, and we knew that there was something original about our band.
Yeah.
Because we didn't play we weren't playing shows where people were like, I don't know, these guys are lame. We would play shows, and every time we came back, more people showed up. We played shows, and every time we got off stage, people were like, yo, I've never heard anything like this. I fucking love you guys. So it wasn't like we were living in
that
some
affirmation and that confidence.
Yeah, we weren't
like,
living in some unrealistic world. We were like,
seeing,
oh, this is
you're looking
out. Yeah, every year we would grow. So
going back to that time when the guy played
thank you, brother.
the song, did he play it on the radio?
On K-Rock, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from there, the masses,
That
K-Rock
was
listeners.
that was one more. That was the first step to get us really to be a kind of across the like from coast to coast band. We could do from West Coast to East Coast. We could probably do 500 kids a night, and that's where you start making a little bit of a living. You get an apartment, you can come home and not have to get a job and shit like that. Yeah.
Because that's like the big break right there.
That was for sure. That was our first big break. But like when you look at music, we don't like to think of it as one big break. You want multiple breaks.
Yeah.
You want multiple things to happen throughout your career. Like Vacation was another break, and that was what 16 years into our career. You know, Life's Been Good. Our last single got to #3. That's another break. That's 18 years into our career. You know, like. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the fucking little engine that could. I want to fucking chug along slowly. Motherfuckers are going to be doing this and this and this, and they're going to end here, and they're doing fucking all this. No. If it's this until we hit cruise control and quit, dope. If we end on top, dope.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Jay-Z that shit. Get the fuck out on top. You know, like you could do this and then you could fizzle out, and then maybe you want to fizzle out because you want to tour and get away from your kids and do whatever. But
there's no exit strategy. It's just
we're more hungry now than we were when we were fucking 16.
Yeah.
And we were hungry as fuck back then. And now we know. Just like no, we're not.
Well, you know the system.
Mm-hmm.
You know what.
We know how to write songs.
You know,
we're
you're more polished.
Yeah.
You know the system, and it doesn't take. You don't have to go through all those trials and tribulations. You're just like, okay, let's just, like you said, put the blinders on.
Right, yeah.
And we have the access, we have the followers. If we just put out some other good content, that's another payday.
Yeah.
Another payday.
It's like,
more years, payday.
I think you get to the point where we're at, and you can either enjoy the comfort and get lazy and kind of die out slowly, or you can enjoy the comfort and get hungry because you don't want to lose it, and you want to keep growing.
The drive.
So
the drive,
So the K-Rock thing was a big break. The Warped Tour was a grind.
It was a grind.
It was a grind, but that got you in front of
a lot of people,
a lot of kids,
in a lot of
cities
states, exactly,
across the country.
Exactly.
So then, what about like did MTV play a role?
No, we missed that.
We missed that.
Yep, we were late to that.
Yeah.
No music videos.
So what was next after the Warped Tour?
After Warped Tour and Lay Me Down, it was just, that was kind of like the building phase. That was when we were building, like the community started growing, and we were building that just on a grassroots level. That was Cabin by the Sea and Sound of Change, and we still got radio love. We would always get radio love, and that's what we really like is there's the reggae rock scene that we literally grew with, right? There was Sublime and Slightly Stupid, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
And then Pepper came along and a couple other bands, and then it was just all of us. It was like Pepper, Revolution, Dirty Heads, Iration, Soja. Yeah, there was like, oh, there's a scene here, right? And now the scene's Cali Vibes, 20,000 fucking people, right? We all grew with that scene, right? But a lot of those bands are fantastic bands, and some of them are traditional reggae bands, some of them are more reggae rock bands. Like, we don't have a lot of straight reggae songs. We're just influenced by it, right? Yeah. So we're able to dip into the reggae rock world and dip out. We can play Cali Vibes, and we can play Riot Fest. We can also play Firefly. We can play fucking K-Rock. We can play with Weezer. We can also play with Soja. You know, like, we are able to maneuver a little bit more. Yeah. But
that wasn't the game plan. It was like you're just doing your own shit, but that's just what opened up so much diversity.
Yeah, once we saw it became part of the game plan, right? But it wasn't it was just us writing music that we liked. But then we saw, like, oh, we're able to.
But yeah, where you said you got to get grouped with like-minded, like-sounding, like genres and bands, and now you're like playing all
going back to
this guy.
He's going to say
what?
Something. He's going to say something fucked up.
Yeah. So in high school, when you started
fucker. I'm talking about Penguins, Surf's Up. How did that happen?
It's so funny. At the time, I was like, we were so young, and we were trying to be so like too cool. That I was like, no, a fucking animated kids film. This is lame. I want to, because you want to be
Slater, Machado, Sal.
You just,
like,
you want to be Kendrick Lamar. You want to be like whoever. You just want to be the cool. And we're like, we're a fun fucking party band. We talk about positive shit. We're shit you listen to on the weekends when you're on vacation and during the summer. Like, it took me a while to be okay with that because you're always just like, I want to do this. I want to do this.
How did it happen?
I don't remember. We probably just kind of shopped it around. Probably our managers just shopping around. I think our producers that did the first album, they shopped it around. Because they were signed to a publishing company. So they gave it to their publishing company because they wrote the songs with us, and then it landed in Surf's Up. And I was like kind of against it, and then I saw the movie and it was like Jeff Bridges and shit. I was like, oh, this is fucking dope. This movie's fantastic. Yeah. And we didn't think it was gonna help. It was a payday because they paid back then. Movies pay still.
Yeah.
But
residual?
It was yeah. But we didn't think it was going to help us that much, but you have no idea how many motherfuckers are like, dude, I came to the show because I saw I fucking heard your song in my kid's fucking Penguin movie. And we were like, fuck, this shit works.
Yeah.
Like, it totally works.
Was that early in?
Very early, yeah.
So before War?
Yeah. That might have been before Laying Down.
So,
yeah.
Curious George probably came out before that. Jack Johnson wrote the whole soundtrack.
I'm not sure. I think it came out after.
Was it?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna check right now. So, again, like.
By the way, he's the nicest guy on the face of the planet. We played a festival a couple months ago called Levitate, and it was Donovan Frankenreiter and us and Jack Johnson. And we've known Donovan before. He rips. I fucking love him. He's like the nicest guy ever, and his music is awesome. And so we were talking to Donovan, and Jack showed up late because something happened with his drummer and all this stuff, and we didn't think anything of it. Like, it's Jack Johnson. We thought he was just going to show up with the two of us, walk the stage, play the show, blah, blah, blah. We get a call the next day, and it's Jack Johnson's tour manager, and he's like, hey, can I get one of the band members' numbers, because Jack feels bad that he wasn't able to say what's up to them, because he usually likes to say what's up to the other bands that he's playing on the stage with. And we were like, what? He wanted to call us and just say hi because he wasn't able to say hi because there was a bunch of shit going on. Nobody fucking does that. And he called me. He was like the nicest fucking guy ever. I was like, that's so genuine. It's so nice to have
because he's a surfer.
Good, normal people in the music industry. For sure. 100%.
He comes from a great family and surf family and construction and lifeguard family.
But it's not some like part of his like sell point, you know?
No.
It's really who he is. He's such a sweet guy. It was really
awesome.
Nice, yeah.
Okay, so Curious George came out in 2006 and Surf's Up 2007. So pretty much right there.
Wow.
Fuck Jack Johnson.
Yeah. But he got the whole movie.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
That was crazy because, again, so we do, we play movies on a projector out in front of the garage for the neighbors. And we do a little like thing. And we were talking about a family, because age group. And like,
what can everybody watch?
Yeah. And we did Surf's Up. And it was, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Good, right?
It was like,
I actually sat and like
fucking Big Z, man. Yeah. It was like, it's funny, but yet it's just the music, and then we know all the voices in there from Sal to the Slater and Machado. It's just classic.
Yeah, it's cool. What's funny, like full circle, is now that Island Glow song I was telling you about, that pirate song, is we were playing a show in Northern California, I think, at this vineyard, and it was a friend of ours, his brother showed up, and I had heard that he worked for Pixar.
Yeah.
And he was like this director, animator for Pixar, and I was like, hey man, we want to do an animated video for one of our songs, and he might be taking the reins, and when Pixar's like off, he might be working with some of these animators from Pixar to do a full animated music video for us now.
Sick.
Which is fucking, being somebody that was going to go to art school, like it's my dream come true. Like from going from poo-pooing like an animated movie that we got into like having somebody at that high level of
Pixar.
art wanting to do some shit for us.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you know it's gonna be-
shit is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys have music videos.
Yeah, what was
Yeah.
the first music video? Because obviously YouTube's been around for a long time. And that's
it was-
kind of after MTV. That was kind of the
It was laying me down. We went down to Gabby Artis.
really.
Yeah, we just got super wasted and went
We
down
gotta
to Gabby
find
Artis. What's
out.
the fucking, what's that restaurant on the cliff down there?
In Puerto Nuevo?
Yeah, Puerto Nuevo would be like the half a mile
Is it the
down.
Halfway House? Is it called the Halfway House?
Oh, the sick
The one up on the
old
bluff?
bar.
Yeah. Is it
It's
called
like
the Halfway
red
House?
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place
Yeah,
is
we like
sick.
shot it.
Halfway House.
Yeah.
It is Halfway
Yeah.
House. Yeah. So we drove down to Mexico and shot
Oh
there.
my
Yeah.
God.
Just got fucking smashed.
I got smashed there.
Yeah.
There's a pool table.
Of course
yeah.
you did.
Yeah. There's good waves right
There is. Yeah,
down,
there's like a little
down
bay
below.
right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your first video was. I'm gonna just add it on.
Lay me
the
down. Long trunks and flat brim hats, dude. You know, below the knee trunks and flat
Nice.
hats.
So
So
after like getting the wind out of your sails, getting dropped because of Napster, and then grinding it out on the Warped Tour,
Yeah.
like when did you guys like feel comfortable and like go, okay, we're fucking, Dirty Heads is here. Like,
Yeah, that's the weird thing about this is that, like I said, I've kind of struggled with anxiety my whole life as a kid up until probably a month ago. I did this psychedelic retreat. That's a whole nother talk, but it fucking changed my life. But up until then, anxiety was a pretty big thing, right? Whenever I thought about it, everything else in my life, anxiety, level 10. Whenever I thought about the band, level 0.
Wow.
Level 0. Every night I'd go to bed and think about it. Level 0 anxiety. 100% gonna happen. I'd talk to Duddy and he'd be like the same thing.
Pre-party, post-party, like because you went
From
through
day
like
one.
so you're still feeling that regardless of
Yeah.
the first say 10, 15 years of heavy partying. Maybe it was your outlet to kind of out of body experience when you get on stage to being sober later. Same feeling. Like that's your home.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Like,
fucking
and I know it's weird, and I don't know what it is. Duddy had the same feeling. It was just something that I knew I was going to be successful at, and I am not the fucking person to be confident like that. Like I overthink everything, but this was the one thing in my life that was just constantly like, "You're good. It's gonna happen."
The
Isn't that
crazy
weird?
It's
thing,
fucking crazy, dude.
So
I
weird.
know I cannot explain it.
the crazy
one thing I
thing
can't explain.
about anxiety is it's talked more.
Mhm.
People talk about it more. It's like, wow, anxiety, and you're like, fuck, like, yeah, I have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some people have it more.
Yes.
And it causes
And
them,
then you can do things like partying, and you think it's helping you, but it's making it worse.
It's
So you can take
yeah.
pills, you can
But
drink
that,
all day.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
just delaying and
You're
buzzing
escaping,
out
yeah.
and escaping,
Yeah.
and you're not
Yeah.
really
but
seeing.
to it's really crazy and awesome to hear of all the things in life to be successful in music, and you knew from the get-go that was
You're calling.
your
Yeah,
calling.
it was my purpose. It was the one thing that kind of made me feel like that shit happens for a reason. Before I was pretty skeptical on things like that. There's a lot of people in the world, coincidences happen. There's 7 billion people. Like, yeah, of course, these things, but just shit's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
But this was the first time where I was like, oh man, this is meant to be. This was meant to. And then the other things started happening where I was like, man, shit happens for a reason.
Yeah.
It's kind
Well,
of set.
I think too, you're in to reflect where you're at now versus when you're in your teens or young 20s, and again you're kind of blinded by the partying and the fast pace, and just you're just trying so hard to be successful, and now that you've had it, you kind of digress a little bit and kind of look at the big thing, the big picture.
Yeah.
How many crossroads of, or how many K-Rock or the Surf's Up, or having that one song, like there's it's not by coincidence.
Right.
Like it is, you create it because you're hustling and you're putting it out there, and obviously that has a lot to do with it. People that, put it out, and try and try and try, more doors open, for sure. There's that aspect of it, but how fucking lucky, we talk about there's past, there's luck, there's timing, there's all this stuff, but at the end of the day, when you look back where you're at now, you're like, I shouldn't be here.
Right.
Yeah.
The way things
but I
happen.
should.
Yes.
Based on what I know and what other people's failures, not failures, but they just didn't get the break.
It's hard for me to swallow the pill of looking at the way things happened and not thinking that this was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You're like, are you fucking kidding me? The way all of this shit played out, you're telling me it was all random? And I kind of believe that life can be completely random. And maybe I'm full of shit. We don't know. We're on a fucking tiny little planet in the middle of the goddamn universe. No. We don't know. But it's just hard for me to buy that this just wasn't. Everything just happened the way it was supposed to happen. Even I even feel me becoming an alcoholic, me becoming an addict. That was supposed to happen for me to be the person that I am today.
100%.
I was supposed to go do this Iboga retreat fucking 4 weeks ago to become the person I did today. All of these things were supposed to happen for me to be a better frontman, for me to be a better entertainer, for me to be able to empathize with a whole new group of people, for me to write songs about something that I went through that a lot of people struggle with. It's just shit happens.
The authenticity of and the history and I've been there and done that, versus people that talk about, whatever's you said, you've lived it, and there's a reason why, because you're still here, and now it's how to, you don't know, to shape other minds? Is it to help other people? Is it just to be more creative and more inspiring? I don't know, you don't know, just keep doing it.
Yeah, it is crazy now that we've been doing it for a while, and you can kind of think about those things, and I'm a little older now. I think about the fact that I can now leave something behind that's going to be long lasting.
Yeah.
Really long lasting.
Yeah.
So when I die, what do I want to say? What message did I want to leave in this music? Did we help people? Did we actually affect all these people? Or was I just playing music to get my to jack off in front of the mirror? Do you know what I'm saying? Was I playing music for my ego? Was I playing music because I wanted to be accepted? Or did I get to a point where I was playing music because one, I loved it, and two, it actually was helping people? Playing music is something we've done.
Well, I think it's called maturity and wisdom and stuff.
And whatever, right? Yeah.
And whatever else, because when you're young, it's it's about.
It was about partying and getting chicks and fucking around and making a living. Yeah,
100%. But it's also how do I make money, and if I want to party the rest of my life, next 60 years, can I do this? But then
it's what we love to talk about, mixing business with pleasure.
Right.
But you start.
You really love
your pleasure is playing music and making people fucking dance and laugh and smile. But then you also want money in your pocket.
It's just the reality of the world,
right?
Yeah. You want to be able to provide. You want to be able to have a comfort in life. We all want comfort. We all want to have stability and then you have a family and you want to, that just exponentially quadruples.
It adds to.
I want, as a parent, I want to give my kid, I want to spoil them like no other. I want to give them everything, but I also want to teach them hard work, work ethic.
You want to spoil them without being spoiled.
Yeah.
But
without being assholes.
It's a give.
I think it's too late though.
Yeah. It's a balance of, I want to give them everything, but they got to earn it at the same time. And and again, I think that comes on a career aspect too. I built what I built. I'm at where I'm at, but again, I want to give, whether it's giving back or inspiring or telling people your story.
Yeah.
And again, this is why we love our podcast, because whether it's an athlete or a musician or a business owner, there's no and we talk about no check box of if you just do this, this is gonna
There's no blueprint.
There's no
to
blueprint
success.
for sure.
So
But there is a common denominator
for sure,
amongst a
it's
lot
hard
of
work
people.
and passion, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Warped Tour.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah, we definitely did.
I'm-
Did you know that we did
No
Warped Tour 1 year?
MTV.
We did Warped Tour
Yeah.
1 year.
Okay, was it just 1 year that you did it?
We only did. We were like, we're never doing that shit again, bro. That shit was
Yeah.
fucking terrible. Never
Okay.
went back.
So what was
kidding me?
what? Because you earlier were saying you're on tour,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
From March to September.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, that sounds like a fixed thing. It became a fixed thing?
Yeah,
Where-
we just didn't really tour in the winter. We're not a winter type band. People aren't just going to show up and see us. We're a summer band, so that's
Fucking
we're a
shirtless in
spring.
Seattle over here. He
Yeah,
wants
bro.
to be freaking on there. He wants to be.
I didn't even think about the reference. I was like, "You went to the Seattle show?" I was like, "Yeah, Seattle Marymore. It's cool."
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, your job, like your career, your craft, like
It started becoming
how did
like.
it turn into like what is how?
Oh,
How did
that
it-
we discussed. We knew we had a plan. Like we sat with our manager and we knew that we were going to be a live act, right? We were like, we know that if we put fucking boots on the ground and we get in front of people, we win. So
Yeah.
that was our kind of like our go-to. That's the thing that we leaned on the most is that we knew we were going to always be a crushing live band, and we love that because you see streaming, right? So we went from a band that was around with our CDs to completely pirating streaming to now legal streaming, right? So we've seen all of it. And the one thing that we know that we're good at, that puts money in our fucking pockets and that lets us survive and that we can do what we love and have a great life and get what we deserve is from fucking playing live shows. And that's just like, there's not, I don't think you, like, whether we go to VR or some other full different fucking way of listening and watching music comes out, because I'm sure it will, and that's fine. I don't think human beings will ever stop going to live
sure,
shows.
yeah.
There's just something too magical.
And if
about
you
it,
look at all the best brands, whether 20, 50 years they've been around, like they
Still touring.
because one, it's a healthy way to make a living, but it's staying relevant and staying in front, and you can rely on the past and then promote the future or what you're putting out now.
Yeah, and if you want to say like, oh, well, if you're just a live act, then you're this and that, and then if you're just a streaming act, then you're just going to get numbers on fucking social media, and that doesn't translate to tickets, but tickets doesn't translate to streams or social media. Nobody knows, because we're a live act, right? That's what we think. We go out, we play live, we tour. Vacation shows up during COVID, out of nowhere, we did nothing. It doesn't matter. If you're around and you're putting out good music and you're working, good shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
we grew up on MTV, like that was huge.
Yeah, it was massive.
I don't think MTV, the bands made money from MTV. It was like marketing, They
Yeah,
went
but
and
if you
bought
got
the
on, you
album.
sell. Yeah,
It went out,
bro.
so-
90s money.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
motherfuckers in bands now that are still living off of 90s
Yeah.
money.
And
It's
so-
different.
Well, Hurley blew up because of MTV.
But
Yep.
okay,
It's a lot of
so
money.
that was an era.
Yep.
You got on MTV, you were guaranteed to sell fucking albums.
Yep.
And that was a hard copy. You show up to the music store and fucking.
Yeah, you only have so many choices, right?
But now, you put out your own video, your own content. It goes onto YouTube.
Mhm.
I just saw you have like 72 million downloads of Vacation.
Yeah, we played Warped Tour one time.
So like, you didn't.
72 million
So
downloads
you-
of Vacation.
That's wild.
So
right?
you didn't.
Fuck.
You weren't on MTV, but you're able to monetize on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Fuck
I
yeah.
mean, well, now,
And all these other
music
platforms.
videos are back now because of YouTube, right? YouTube pays really well.
Yes.
Like fucking, look at.
I hope so.
What's Childish Gambino? This Is America.
Yeah.
Like fucking that music video was insane. The production on that was insane. That song wasn't getting played on the radio at that point.
Yeah.
Then that video came out, blew the fuck up. Now because it's getting played on radio. Vacation was 4 years old.
Yeah.
It was gone, done. Radio said no. We put it out. Radio said, we don't like the song. We said,
Yeah.
dude, the song's the shit. It's blowing up at our shows. You better put it on the radio. It said, no, we're good. 4 years
Put the
later,
video
it's
on.
got 6 billion views, and
Yeah.
guess who plays it? Radio. That's what I love about streaming is because it's fucking just, there's no more gatekeepers. Nobody can gatekeep
open,
anymore.
yeah.
There can't be program directors and label heads
So
going,
you're-
this. They go, what's the fucking people saying online?
But you're not.
That song's gonna blow
But you're
up.
not making like. You're not
That's
getting
crazy.
a large residual or purchase like an album.
No.
You're getting a lot of little
Which makes
residuals
Bro.
over a lot of different
It's a
Do you
platforms.
different
know how
value.
much? Do you know how much one stream is worth? 0.04% of a penny. Not
Wow.
even a penny. 0.04%.
On all different platforms or all?
It's
Kind of
around the
pretty
same,
similar.
but yeah, Spotify kind of pays the worst.
Yeah,
0.04.
Apple, Pandora, YouTube kind of pay the best.
that's heavy.
0.04. So like even like so Vacation went platinum.
Yeah.
But the good thing about Vacation going platinum, it brought so much traffic that all these other songs that were gonna go gold and platinum in 5-6 years
Sped it up.
all went gold and platinum within 6 months. Like all our
Because
shit was, we're like, thank you, Vacation.
It's the
So
hook,
you
line,
have
and
to-
sinker to get them
And
to
that was
like,
4
well, what other
years
songs do they
after.
have?
After it came out.
You
So like
watched it.
there's pros and cons to streaming now.
Yeah.
You don't make 90s money, but we didn't have to do nothing in Vacation
But
but
you-
the fuck up and
yeah.
now we all
And that-
more people are coming and listening to us.
Yeah.
And we can do it independently also.
And that's what's great. And again, there's pros and cons to everything. But
Yes.
to be able to have your own creative control,
Yep.
you know, you could be more independent, and you can put out fucking kick-ass funny videos like Vacation. It's fucking funny.
Yeah, kids don't need a label anymore. Yeah, that shit's funny.
It's fucking funny.
Mr. Belding?
Yeah, it's a fucking principal like lip syncing the whole thing and like.
Dude, he came to one of our shows, which was wild. I was like, well, Mr. Belding's here. And I was like getting ready for the show, and usually before the show I'm not like too chatty, I'm just kind of like getting in the mode, you know?
Yeah.
And he comes up and he's like, let me come on stage. And I was like, no, you're good, it's good, like we're good. And then he went up to Duddy and he was like in the other room, it was like he went to Dad, and Dad said no, and then he went to Mom, and he was like, let me come on stage. And Duddy was like, fuck yeah, come on stage. And so Mr. Belding comes on stage, and we thought people were just gonna, like, he was just gonna come on and dance around like Mr. Belding, and people were gonna laugh and get off. Mr. Belding runs on stage and grabs Dustin's mic, and Dustin sings quiet, right? So I have Dustin loud as fuck in my in-ears because Dustin's a mellow singer, so I turn him up really loud. Belding goes to Duddy's fucking mic and just starts going, hey, and I'm pretty sure he's just pissed, super
For
wasted.
sure.
He's screaming as loud as he fucking
In
can
your
in
ear.
Vacation, and I was like, get Mr. Belding the fuck off of stage, dude. They had to do like the whole, like we didn't have the hook, but
The
one of our
hook
guys
plays-
was like, yo, dude,
When
come
people
on.
are like erupting.
Yeah, they were pumped. They just
Yeah,
Mr.
pumped.
Belding. It was funny, but I was like, please get Mr. Belding off the fucking stage right now.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes to start.
Boozy Belding.
Yeah, that's fucking.
No, he was nice. He was super nice, but he's
Yeah.
fucking screaming in my ear and shit.
Yeah, that I mean, it's just so fascinating on like how how hard it is to be successful, but how to monetize it in this like day and age, you know, like.
And going back, not to the Warped Tour, but
Oh my god,
you
Yeah.
he's like fucking old man rewind.
becoming
Yeah.
a singer and writing songs. Did you?
That's my favorite thing to do now. No, I
It's
never
kind
really
of-
thought about it. You know, when we started, like I said, it was just kind of like about partying, and I knew we were good at it, but it was more so about just like partying and kind of making a living and having fun and really just like
Yeah.
being able to rage for a living, right? That's like really be able to fuck chicks and drink every night and just do whatever I want. That's kind of cool. But then you realize that like your songs are affecting people. You get messages from people about how I was gonna fucking kill myself. I didn't kill myself because of this song. My mom died. I got through that because of this song. I was a drug addict. I'm no longer a drug addict because of this song. And then you're like, yo, this is fucking real. This
Yeah.
is heavy. And then that kind of sets in, and then it made me just look at the craft of songwriting. And then you look at other songs, and you start looking at other people that are taking it serious, and like, this is a really beautiful craft. This is really cool. I can build a world. I can build an entire world that somebody can live in and transport them somewhere absolutely wild, no matter how bad their life is, in 3.5 minutes. That's fucking. I can make a
And it
movie.
lives on
It's
forever.
crazy, and it's there forever. And I'm like, this is the shit. I
Yeah.
am fucking obsessed with the studio. Touring is fun, right? The shows are fun.
Yeah.
It gets old. I miss my family.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fun. It's
Yeah.
not
But it's
hard.
a
not-
necessity.
yeah, it's not physically hard.
Yeah.
Just emotionally, something I miss a family. You're fucking out here a lot. We've been doing
Yeah.
it for a long time. Shows are fucking awesome. You step foot on stage, all that shit gets away. But I've never once, like, I could sit in a fucking studio 365.
Yeah.
I love writing songs.
But what music did for you and pulled you into your world of career and life, you know, like you probably weren't I'd say a little naive, like you're out having fun, people are partying, but
A lot
when
of
you start
naive.
getting those responses, and you're like, holy shit, like what it affected you, it's affecting everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's, you know, it's powerful. Like,
It's
you know,
really powerful, and especially when something is personal to you. And you know, I've heard it. A producer told me one time, you know, if it's personal, you win. If
Yeah.
it's personal to you, you're gonna win. You know, whether people like it or not, you're gonna hear that song and be proud of it, right? And usually, 9 out of 10 times, when you do that, when you put yourself into a song, it works. And the other thing that we've noticed, stories. Stories fucking work. If you tell a story, it doesn't have to be about you. It can be completely made up. And that's why
maybe I want to hear a pirate
it's a
story.
fucking pirate song. It's a fucking listen to it when you're done. These guys were like, we're big fans. They never heard any of our songs. I can write a song about anything. Like, you don't but at the same time, it doesn't have to be about shit. The Beastie Boys wrote 100 songs about nothing.
Yeah.
Cucumbers in a bowl of hot sauce. It's just silly shit.
Silly
nothing.
shit.
I had one producer who was like, everything has to mean something. We're like, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Show me some examples. I was like, every Beastie Boys song. And he's like, okay.
Yeah,
You're right. You know, it's fun. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of songwriters sit with me and Dustin, and they're like, "Well, we got to write about this. We got to write." Like, bro, everybody's written everything about everything. Does it sound cool?
Yeah.
Is it fun? Well, this doesn't mean anything. I know.
Well-
Anthony Kiedis, none of that shit means anything.
Well-
Nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's not. He's just writing wacky fucking poetry for his brain, and he likes it. And other people like it because it sounds good.
I mean, I used to love Slayer, and I put on Slayer, and I'm like, I don't care what fucking words they're saying.
No, bro.
I love the freaking
You just want to get
The
pissed.
snap.
Metallica.
Yeah.
I just like,
You love
I,
the noise?
I
Yeah,
just
bro.
want to destroy.
Yeah.
And that's what I listened to for Go to Surf. I'm like, I'm going to freaking
Dude, you gotta listen to this.
Destroy the
There's this
surf.
band I've been listening to a lot called Kubla Khan, Texas. It's
Really?
metal. It's
Kubla
I'm
Khan,
fucking
Texas?
obsessed, bro. Yeah, they've been around for a while, but I just found it's just kind of like hardcore, like chunky metal. It's good, dude. It's real good. But yeah, it doesn't. Music doesn't have to be about anything. I'm pretty much sick of American hip hop, so now I just listen to Japanese hip hop, and I love it because I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but it's dope.
Japanese
yeah, their
hip-hop?
production's so good, and I don't know what they're saying, so I don't hate the music. You know, I'm like, I don't know what this guy's saying. He could be saying the same shit American rappers are saying that I'm sick of, but I don't know Japanese, so I'm like, this is my favorite song.
How weird.
Listen to Japanese hip hop, it's hilarious. But then all of a sudden, like, it'll be Japanese Xanax, and you're like, yeah,
Oh,
that's funny.
he's talking about drugs.
Yeah, Japanese lean, and you're like, all right, this is funny.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Fuck. I mean, music's so, again, powerful, and it doesn't matter what you use it for, whether you want to, you're listening because it tells a good story or it just has a good beat. Like, there's so many ways to pull. I like everything.
Mhm.
I like
Same.
so
Yep.
much different. You know, some people are just very, like, focused, narrow-minded on
Yeah, I
like,
hate
what
the
they
question
like.
of what type of
And
music.
that's fine if that's what you're into and that you don't care about other stuff, but it's like, I like so much different music.
Yeah, I don't even ask people, what kind of music do you listen to? It's like, is that a question anymore? You hear on Spotify?
What kind of
I
music
just
don't
fucking-
you listen
Yeah,
to?
exactly.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's a better question because it's only
Accordion
a couple
music.
things. Yeah. No, I fucking accordion music hard, dude. I bet there's
Bring him
some
up
sick
on stage
flavors.
one of these, oh my
Yeah.
God. But you talked about, like, big part of your life, drugs, being sober.
Yeah.
I mean, are you, like, at what point were you making that, like, transition?
When I noticed that it was affecting the band and
Yeah.
affecting my
Pre-
personal family.
Yeah.
This is around 28. So, we'd gone
Pre-kids,
pre-kids.
Yeah.
Yep, the pre-kids. So I pre-kids right around when I got married, and then on my honeymoon, I ran out of pills. We were in Thailand, and I was like, I'm ruining my fucking honeymoon because I can't get Norcos in Thailand.
Yeah.
My fucking partner's so supportive, and she knew, and she was like, I don't know what to do out here. I'm sorry, but like, just drink more. And I was like, fuck, I gotta get. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I'm fucking up our honeymoon. I'm fucking up our wedding. I'm fucking up my bandmates' fucking, livelihood. They got kids and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, I'm fat. I'm dying. I'm poisoning myself. I'm like, this isn't gonna fucking end well. So I just white knuckled one day in the middle of the tour. We were on fucking the East Coast in like Atlantic City or something, right? And I just had a big old fucking bottle of Norcos and a bunch of, there's always booze. And I walked outside of this dumpster at like 2 in the morning. And I just dumped my Norcos in the fucking trash. And I just white knuckled withdrawals on like 4 weeks of tour left. And I just sat in my fucking bunk and just cried and like went through this terrible depression and anxiety just in a coffin with the fucking thing closed. And it was so fucking terrifying. And I was like, I'm glad this happened because I'm never doing this again. you know, and I came out of it, and then it was, you know, a
You
couple
did
years.
it cold fucking turkey?
Yeah, bro. On
By
tour.
yourself?
Because I woke up one day and I couldn't get out of my bunk. I couldn't get out of my bunk, so my tour manager like literally had to pick me up, get me to the ER, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, you're an alcoholic. Your shit's shutting down. You know, like I'm gonna give you a bunch of IVs. Like you should be okay for the show tonight, but like you might not be." I ended up making the show tonight, and I was like, "I'm not gonna cancel shows, but I'm fucking my friends' lives up, and I'm fucking my wife's lives up."
There's too
and I
many
just was
relying
done.
on you.
Yeah.
So that starts to sink
And
in.
it just wasn't. I knew it
Cold
wasn't
turkey
successful. You know?
by yourself.
This
Yeah.
guy had to see a hypnotist.
And
Yeah.
then, but I didn't. From cigarette smoking.
Cloves, dude.
Cloves.
Those are fucking deadly.
Those are deadly.
Yeah,
But
cloves.
He's talking about Norcos.
Yeah.
And alcohol.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Cold turkey. You couldn't even cold turkey cloves, dude. You have to see a
Yes, he's a
hypnotist.
bigger man than I am. is what we're
I was just worse off. It was my bottom, you know. There was no other choice.
I know, but like, okay.
There was no choice.
You're in Atlantic City,
Yeah.
and you didn't falter. You didn't
It
have a
was
relapse.
so yeah. It was such a bottom that, you know, like I was waking up like with a beer under my pillow and like trying to hide it from the guys. Like wake up at 8 in the morning and be like, crack one beer in my bunk before I get out, just so I'm not like shaking.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, what am I doing? You know, I'm not fucking dumb. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. This isn't gonna end well for anybody.
Yeah.
So it was just that decision where I was
2008.
like, yeah, I was 28. I don't know when that was. I'm 40 now.
After you got married.
It was yes, yeah, it was after I got married. It was like a year or two after I got married.
And you had more weeks on tour.
Yeah, that was not every
Yeah.
show was brutal,
Dude,
but it was
fucking-
good because I was like, what, you know, like
Yeah.
what I put myself through. I'm like, well, I was like, I never want to do this again. You know,
Yeah.
but I have to play these shows. I'm not going to go home, go to rehab, and do all this shit. If I don't do this now, I'm going to keep drinking and taking pills
It's
and probably
kind of-
die by the end of this tour.
It's
So you
kind of
never went
bad
to
you
AA?
getting on tour to where you couldn't just
You lived.
you're in a position where you're so dedicated and you have other people you're not going to let down, and you're like, you know what, like
That's what I
if
thought.
it was off season, you're kind of like it'd be
I would
easier to
have done
slip.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I got another
'Cause
4
you're already
or 8
living
weeks.
what
I would have
you
had
have
a
to
week.
go
I would have
through.
had a week to like wean off the pills
Yeah,
and maybe
it
slow
just-
down on the booze. And I'm like, dude, then I know
Everything
what
happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I know
you
what's
know?
going to happen. So I did that, and then got sober, and it was rough for a couple years, and then got really good for 8 years, and then had my second kid and relapsed last year because I just felt like things were. Everything was good, right? New album coming out, crushing. My wife's happy, my kids are healthy. Nothing, a brand new fucking house. You know, parents are happy, brother's happy, everything's good. Like everything on paper, I should be the happiest person in the world. I'm not. I'm freaking out. I'm like, don't know what's going on.
Anxiety.
Yeah, just don't understand.
So that's
Like,
when the anxiety keeps resurfacing.
yeah, and then I'm like, okay, well maybe I'm just a couple Norcos here, just a responsible drink here, blah blah blah. No, it didn't work out. You know, started getting back to bad habits. My buddy was like, hey, I went up and did this 5-day psychedelic retreat, and the medicine talked to me and was telling me to reach out to you. It's called a Voga. And I did it like a month ago, and it was a fucking exorcism. It was just like a 5-day
You saw,
exorcism.
out of body
Ayahuasca?
experience, you saw yourself.
No, it's not ayahuasca, but you do it twice in 4 days, like similar to ayahuasca. It was heavy. It was really heavy. It was an exorcism. It was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. But it literally went in and just why I was drinking, why I was taking pills, I thought was just pressure of the job. Just addiction because it was in my family. It was all these things. It wasn't. It was like unresolved childhood trauma that I didn't remember. Like all this like poison that I'd been putting in my body, people pleasing, lying, all this bullshit, all this just bad shit that I've been doing over
You just
just pushing it down. Like, you know,
I-
you're just like our dad's generation. Walk it off. Don't talk about it. Don't worry about it. You know?
Tough guy. Yeah.
Just did that, tough guy, everything for a long time, but I was a really sensitive little kid and I shouldn't have done that. So I was living a lie, right? I'm not that tough guy that walks things off. I'm the guy that cries a bunch and talks about things, you know, but I was trying to be somebody else, like my brother, my dad, these tough guys. And it was just, I was full, and this medicine went in and fucking construction worker just chiseled it out, bagged it up, and just shot it in the diesel in the last fucking 4 weeks. And numerous people have talked to me about this, and so I didn't believe it. I went up and did the medicine, and I've never felt better. I've never felt better. I mean, anxiety's completely gone. Depression's completely gone. I feel happy. I feel happy with myself, right? And I've never been happy with myself. I kind of always hated myself because that's kind of how I was brought up to. I was kind of raised that way, that like just not really love myself. It was all this wild shit. And like there's not a,
What
there's
is-
not
what
a
is this
cheap,
treatment?
it's called a boga. It's a
Boga.
yeah, it's a plant from Africa. It's actually ibogaine is a derivative of it. That's what like a lot of people like on your last leg of heroin abuse, they'll give them ibogaine and it's been helping them, but this is a little different. There's not a cheat code to life, but the closest thing to it is this fucking medicine. You know, a lot of opiate.
Are
a
you
lot of,
in a like camp or?
yeah, you're at a retreat.
Yeah. Supervision, it's programmed like they.
Yeah, there's a
like
shaman. It's not like a rehab, but it's like there's a shaman and his wife, and they feed you, and they
Walk
also
you
feed
through
you a shit ton of psychedelics, and you fucking lose
So
your
on
shit
top of
for,
that,
you know.
on top of the abadoga or
Boga.
aboga?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get fed, you know, a couple times a day, and you do it twice, and it really, really, really helped. It kind of gave me a new lease on life. You know,
Well-
it just I was looking at life in the wrong way, you know. Now I'm just excited to be alive, you know.
Well, and again, I don't condone psychedelics to people.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But no. But I've done them. And when they say you only use 10% of your brain, you know.
Some of us 5.
Whoa. Well, maybe. I thought it was.
All right, 2.
Yeah. This enlightening of what you speak of is, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
You know, it
It just
it gives you, there's so much more to life. There's so much more out there. It's kind of like a rebirth of
100%.
like everything, you know, that you know about the world as you used to see it.
Yes.
You know, like you
Yeah.
come out as like, I'm changed.
It makes you really truthful with yourself, you know, and what I was doing was lying to myself and believing the lies for 40 years, you know,
Yeah.
and it really made me truthful with
There's-
myself and made me come face to face with it all. And it's doing a lot of work with like PTSD for war veterans, rape victims, a lot of iboga, ayahuasca, MDMA, you know, there's a company called MAPS doing a lot. Psychedelics are really changing people's lives if you can do it the right way with the
Yeah.
right guide.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to a couple different podcasts about how ayahuasca is a heroin addict treatment, right?
Yeah, same with the boga.
And it sucks because like our society has like
Again.
all our lives fed us like prescription drugs,
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical.
Here's some
pharmaceutical.
pills. They're pretty much heroin pills.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like
Eat 'em all
synthetic.
day. Yeah, exactly.
the
That-
more you like, you know, discover alternative, holistic,
Natural shit from
natural,
the earth
yeah,
that is thousands of years old.
Yeah,
What the fuck
but-
are you telling us about? Yeah.
But not just doing it, you're in a setting with people that understand what they're giving you. They set you up
Correct.
with the program. You're in a comfort zone because, again, I would watch friends go do like shroom shakes
Yeah.
at 12 at night and going to some crazy nightclub. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like that's not the way I want to. I want to be at the beach. I want to
Yeah.
sit in the water.
So you never
hike
did that?
out.
Yeah.
You never took a shroom shake and went to the
A couple
Route
times.
66?
Yeah, a couple times. It was not ideal.
Yeah.
But no, it's like you're there for a reason, and you got the support system and a program that's gonna like deal with the issues
Yeah.
that you're there. So it's a total
Walk you through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's different from being in a party mode that a lot of people go into this and have bad experiences or whatever.
Yeah.
And it also comes down to your personality too. Like I have friends that can't smoke weed because they get super paranoid and freaked out, and then some people are like, wow, that's just like my counterbalance to my anxiety, to
Yeah.
whatever I'm dealing with, and it's super mellow. Same with drinking. Like you got people that drink and they just turn angry and physical and crazy and mad, and then there's others that are just luscious and happy,
Yeah.
so
Right here,
we're,
dude.
we're luscious and we're happy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was gonna
again,
try.
there's no, again, like we talked through life, there's no blueprint.
Yeah,
you know?
everybody's path is different. Everybody's
and it's different, but
Yeah.
there should be a conversation and an open dialogue to what works with whatever. you
Yes,
know?
I had done talk therapy. I tried to go to AA. None of that shit worked for
Yeah.
me. You know, what works for me is getting my ass handed to me by psychedelics and really showing me the root, like not like pulling the fucking root up, not only pulling the root up, showing it to me, and then just clearing out the whole fucking garden, the dirt, everything, just
Yeah.
restarting. That's what it did. And I'm like, yeah.
So
Are you-
anxious, but
That's wild.
Are you having
Curious to try
conversations like with people while you're under like how like
you're
walk us
you're
through.
mainly having a conversation with yourself.
Okay.
You know, so you can't walk. You're fucking smoked, right? You start taking the medicine, you lay down, and it's from sundown to sunrise.
And what is your like surroundings? And you have like
There's
bed and water and drink.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
like,
You're on a mat, and you know it's candles lit everywhere, and there's 5 other people, and there's the Bwiti is the tribe that found this medicine, and there's like traditional Bwiti music going on, which is wild music. Like even the music's like you're like, this shit's gonna make me crazy. Just this fucking music's gonna make me crazy. I gotta listen to this shit for
Puts you
10
in a
hours.
trance.
Yeah, bro, it's wild. And then on top of that, you're tripping balls. But when you open your eyes, you're pretty okay. When you close your eyes, it's a fucking movie. It's a movie of everything. Your childhood, your past,
Everything's just flashing.
and it's just a circus, bro, for a long time. Long time. And I got dosed really high, so it was supposed to end in the morning. You're supposed to go to bed. My shit just lasted till like 3 the next day. And then I came out of it and was still like, oh shit, what am I doing here? This is heavy. I wanted to quit 10 times a day. And then you do it again. And my thing, a lot of the lady next to me was laughing. She was seeing her son. She was like hugging her grandma. She was having a blast. And mine was just horror movies, just absolute horror movies for fucking 2 days straight. Like it was so heavy. But what it was showing me is that all the things I was doing, all the people pleasing, all the self-hate, all the like little lies that I tell and wanting people to accept me and doing all these things, this is probably while I was in the band. And like all this bullshit was just poison. It was just darkness. It was as dark as all these dark things that it was showing. But then it just took all of it and got rid of it. I used to carry it around. I could feel it. I could feel it in my shoulders. I could feel it in my stomach. That's where I got anxiety. Now I know that it happened to me, but it's not part of me anymore.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters is me. And I'm only going to do things that make me proud to be me. That was it was like a fucking billboard. It was like, only do shit that makes you proud to be you and love you. And then I went to my fucking little trailer and I stared at myself in the mirror like fucking goddamn Apocalypse Now and just stared at every flaw that I had, my teeth, my ears, my eyes, everything, and just started loving it all, which was wild because I used to fucking hate it.
I'm not as good looking. I'm not this. I'm not as.
I would walk by a mirror and I'd have like a mirror face. You know, I'd be like, well, this is my right fucking side. I'm like a front man. You know what I'm saying? I was just like this insecure, like what? But it all just came back from me being this scared little fucking sensitive kid. Like tried to be a tough guy my whole life, and now I don't give a fuck. That's who I was. That's who I am. I hugged that little motherfucker. I hugged the 12-year-old Jared. I hugged the 16-year-old Jared. I hugged all those.
Did you hug the boogie? Did you drop me boogie border?
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I'm proud of that shit. Bro, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have came on a surfing podcast and even mentioned bodyboarding. I would have lied. I would have been like, yeah, I grew up in Surfside surfing.
Dude, started ripping it.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah,
Start
bro,
ripping
that
it.
shit. Yeah, totally. You know, I would have just people pleased you guys probably. Not to that. I'm a little older now, but I used to do that when I was younger. But it still lived in me. You know, and this medicine really just kind of takes it. It takes everything and it fucking gives you a full rebirth. My mind runs real hot, right? Or it did. Thoughts. I could never ever turn my brain off. I would go to bed at 3 o'clock. I'd actually probably go to bed at 1 o'clock and wouldn't go to sleep till 3 o'clock. I'd sleep until 1 o'clock. And when I'd lay down in bed, thoughts. Always. When I was talking to you, I wouldn't be present. I'd be having a conversation with you and I'd be thinking about 5 other things. I'd be having a conversation about you, thinking about, did I say something stupid in that conversation? I'm never fucking present, right? At one point in this medicine, when I was on this medicine, we got done, it was wearing off, and I was laying in bed, and I heard a pop in my head, like an audible pop, went, and then everything went away, and I sat there for like an hour, and there was no thoughts. It was like just a cool wind, and I can still do it now. I can close my eyes, and there's not a lot of thoughts. It's pretty calm. Yeah, and I was like, for 40 fucking years, I've been a fucking hamster cage in there, and I started crying. I talked to him. He's like, "Yeah, that happened to me. That happened to me. His wife, that happened to me." And now I just feel clear, and I feel calm, and I feel light, and I feel like I have me, and that's all that matters. And now you guys are going to get a better version, and my wife's going to get a better version. My kids are going to get a better version. Because now I'm like excited to play with my kids. Not like, I got to play with my kids, and I'm watching my phone while I'm pushing my kid on the fucking swing. And I'm like going to a party with Kate when I don't want to be there. Now I'm like
consumed with like nonsense. And
life is
consumed with fucking the shit that you should be consumed
life
with.
is a fucking gift, and I have a good one, and I'm gonna appreciate it and live it. You know.
Yeah, it's so wild because I mean, and I love that we're talking to somebody that obviously is a celebrity and a fucking in a big band, and there's so many fucking people that don't have like your stardom, but are going through the same shit. Like a day to day. work, kids, school, you know, and it's like,
this doesn't.
it's not
it doesn't
isolated
matter.
to
Yeah.
you know
No,
somebody
it's not.
that
Yeah.
this didn't your
Success and money won't change anything.
No,
Yeah.
like
That's
If you're not fucking happy with you, if you can't be happy with you alone in a room with nothing, nothing will matter. Money won't matter. Chicks won't matter. Sex, drugs,
and that's
success.
what I got from that conversation.
Yes.
Is like
100%.
you know what, like this is you and you have this path and this is where you're at in your career, but there's so many other people that have that same anxiety or
Life is
or
fucking hard,
shit.
man.
No, fuck
Yeah, life is fucking hard. You gotta treat yourself right. You gotta have compassion for yourself. And like I said, the big thing was only do shit that makes you proud to be you. That's if you stay that and you let your mind take a backseat, your soul start driving. That's the way to do it. Your mind's a fucking computer. It's gonna do wacky shit. It's not gonna be good for you. If you let your soul, your gut drive, and your mind just make sure you get up on time and get your kids to school, you'll be in a better place.
Yeah. It's crazy too, like there's people in this world, musicians, surfers, athletes, that are gifted that take their own life because of what they go through.
Yeah, I was
kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I wasn't super close with Chester, but I really looked up to him, and he was a buddy, and he gave me a lot of advice. He was friends with my manager, Chester from Lincoln Park, and it's insane. You know, that was something that was insane to me. That like this dude, we were in Arizona, and this dude, we're at a Mexican food restaurant. He's eating fucking cheese enchiladas. We go outside and he smokes like 4 or 5 dirts, and he's like just smoking cigs with me, eating cheese enchiladas. And then an hour later, he's on stage and he's fucking screaming, pitch perfect. Perfect show. He's a perfect singer. Doesn't warm up. I talk to him. Do you have a vocal coach? Do you have this? Do you have that? And he's just so fucking talented that I'm like, I can never be a singer that good. I gotta go to vocal coach. I gotta work. I'm not that good. I'm pitchy. I'm this. I'm that. I'm like hating on myself. This dude's like this perfect singer. He's got an enormous amount of money in the bank, a beautiful wife, beautiful kids. A couple years later, he kills himself. And that's where I was just like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None of that shit matters. Because he was just, there was something poison that he couldn't, and I understand being an addict, going through withdrawals, all that shit. If I had to stay, the depression that I had when I was going through withdrawals and like coming out of it for like a year or whatever, if that was life, 4 or 5 years, I get it. I'm like, I get why motherfuckers like, I'm so tired, I'm so exhausted that I can't do this anymore. So you try and fill it, and then you think you're trying to fill it, but what you're really doing is escaping from the roots. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fucking therapist. I don't know what's going on with Chester, but it's wild to look at guys that are so successful and so talented, yet so
you think they have
damaged.
the world
in
the palm of their hands.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
you're not
they're gone.
a
Yeah,
therapist
they're sad.
in regards to having the accolades and you studied for it, but you lived it, and that's where it resonates, I think, way more deeper. You know, like
But what you just went through, the Aboga,
Yeah.
I mean, that should be shouted on the mountain.
Every single person that is allowed to do it should do it.
Yeah,
I swear to God,
like-
this world would be a better place, dude. They give it to their 16-year-old boys for a rite of passage. And if I fucking had this medicine at 16, I would have been a much better person now. You know.
But
I
this
did.
happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's all good.
You had to go through it.
Yeah, I'm glad I did. Very glad.
I would like to do that.
You should.
Be gnarly.
You really should. You should, man. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say anybody should do anything, but
no,
it worked really well for me, and it's worked really well for me.
Let's talk about surfing.
Yeah, I love surfing.
So
I've
out of all your
really good the last 3 days.
Well,
and I've been
besides-
surfing a lot better too. Just I think it's because I'm more present or something. I'm surfing way better.
let's not talk about last 3 days because it sucked. No, just
Yeah,
It's been fun, bro.
It's been sucking.
It's
But,
something
like,
you sat on
you-
north side when south side
Like
was empty.
you're
Barely.
touring, you're global. Like you've gone.
The whole-
Yeah, we've slowly become less global because of COVID, the dollar. It's fucking hard to get to Europe. It's hard to get to Australia. It's hard to develop those countries at this point, but we're going to start. We do well in South America.
Nice.
Canada's not necessarily a big country, but we do well in Canada.
Oh.
We do well in Canada, we do well in South America. The 2 places we could drive or get to quick, we do all right in the UK, and we do garbage in the rest of Europe. And I feel like we would do really well in Australia, and our numbers do really well in Australia. We just haven't got there.
What about like, Asia?
We went to
Japan?
Japan one time for the Surf's Up thing. We played Stand Tall at the movie theater once, and then just got absolutely smoked for 7 days. It was the best trip of my life. I would live in Japan. I'm obsessed with Japan. I could live there for sure.
Japan's
Well,
fucking.
I
the
love it,
reason
yeah.
I brought it up is because you have accessibility to like travel and
Yeah.
go to some cool place, whether it's the East Coast or up and down the West, whatever.
Dude,
Like,
America's-
like,
the
are you
States are
able to like, hey, we're on tour. I'm bringing
Bring
my
a board.
board because we're going to be close to surf spots.
We're rarely close to surf spots, but when we are, we have friends now. And the last time that happened was Montauk, and we scored Montauk like
shit.
fucking lowers. And then Montauk's kind of like Bolsa. Like there's a lot of people out there, and they all got really expensive longboards, but nobody really knows how to surf.
Yeah.
So if you just kind of like paddle like you know what you're doing, they're like, yeah, okay, go. And you're like, fuck yeah. And me and John scored Montauk, like one of the most memorable sessions I've had in a long time. It was perfect. It was like perfect lowers.
Have you surfed Hamptons or?
No.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah,
There's a lot of.
It was a
streets
cool
and
little
beach.
culture up there. Like that, Montauk's
It's
like a
huge.
cool little surf town. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was just
Surf
all
is
bougie.
huge,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was good.
Oh.
There were some really good
When
guys.
did you go?
This was at the end of summer, I believe.
This summer?
No, this was a couple years ago, before
Okay.
COVID. Yeah.
Reminds me of the whole like Malibu, like Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they just
Yeah, yeah, totally.
A lot
I
of
mean,
mon-
but they were nicer.
No,
it
but
wasn't
I
as
just mean,
vibey.
like,
Yeah.
they're not diehard surfers, but yet they're in, you know, because they have
Yeah, I
other-
wasn't talking shit. That sounded rude of me, but
No,
I'm
no,
letting
no.
you know, like, if
Not
you,
at all.
if you paddle
That's
for something,
kinda
and you're
how
like,
it
yeah,
is.
go ahead.
I'm
in-
just saying
in
that
that part
that,
of it.
that it's not their
Yeah.
daily ritual. They're more weekend warriors or
Yeah.
swell warriors.
And
You
it's
know,
part of the
like,
culture as
right?
well.
Like
Yeah.
they're not.
There
you
was
know,
some fucking
There's
shredders
core
out there.
surfers out
Yeah,
there,
there's
for
some
sure.
good dudes.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just,
the bougie part is
Yeah.
bougie.
But I
parts.
mean,
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, we're really only in Florida and the West Coast, and so we don't get to surf a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
so you talked about going to Waco
Yeah.
and
We did
surfing
private,
wave pools. Is that your first experience of wave pools, or you done
Yeah,
other-
yeah. We just so Yasad from Pepper knew Shane. A couple of the other boys knew Shane. We went with like Jesse Evans and Tip and a couple other guys, and they all kind of knew Magnuson. So we were already kind of dialed, and we just made like the boys trip out of it and rented the whole day.
Yes.
And
Fun
fuck,
way
it
to
was
do it.
so fun, and it was just
Best
like it
cool
reminded
beach
me.
day ever.
Yeah, and then like there was that one little like peaky like the mushy takeoff where you get that peaky little seal barrel, and we just kind of surfed that thing all day. It was just like kind of surfing shore break. It was
So good.
It was so much fucking fun.
I haven't had the chance there, but I
It was a
can't wait
blast.
till Palm Springs gets
I know.
open.
Yeah, we're pumped.
Well, yeah,
Shane texted me a photo of the new
one?
the layout.
It's
Yeah, they
big.
brought us back and like showed us how it worked. It was fucking fascinating. Showed us like how the bottom was and everything. It was really cool. And just
Yeah.
those giant pumps that were pumping it. It was easy to get used to, but the first like half hour, you're like, what the fuck? Because it pulls you back, and you have to sit at the numbers, and then it's fast. Like once you get up, it's kind of like river jetting.
Yeah,
Like,
it grows,
it's
it goes
super
from like
fucking
this to
fast.
like that. Like,
Yeah, and then you gotta
it's-
you immediately gotta hit your line. You immediately gotta hit a bottom turn.
Isn't it crazy how many
very technical.
fucking wave pools there are that are coming?
Dude, we're gonna get so
Our kids' generation is
It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a dude. We showed up the day before our private day. We got there a little early, like we flew in pretty early. It was just how flights work, and we got there at like noon or something, right? And there was a family, and it was a sad story, but it was pretty cool. What the guy was doing, he was terminally ill with some sort of cancer, and he had some money, so he was gonna go surf all the spots he wanted to before he passed away. And he rented Waco out for himself and his family.
Wow.
And his like grandson was there. His grandson was like 10, and his grandson was, from. I'm not Arizona, but I don't know where the fuck they're from. I don't
So-
know.
not a beach.
Somewhere not
Like,
where
not
yeah.
a-
This kid had never surfed, and we saw him, and it was just little mushy, like the learning waves where it was just white water, right? He was on a soft top, and we came back later at like 6 o'clock, and he was pumping down the line.
That's
Because it
so
was just him and his
fucking crazy.
granddad.
Yeah.
It was like skating. If
The-
you skate one ledge, you can work on one trick.
Yeah, yeah.
If you have the same wave over
The
and over, that
progression
kid, yeah.
It's going
I'm
to
telling you,
be-
the progression from kids at wave pools is
The,
going to be
the
fucking wild.
repetition.
Have you done Kelly's pool?
No. No, what's up?
It's
Let's
good.
play a show there. Get me there. You guys
It's
go
good.
home.
Dude,
What's the deal?
You should do a
you
show
should
there.
do a
I'll
show
play,
there.
I'll play for
Are you
free.
fucking
Hey.
kidding me?
I swear to God, Kelly said, what's up?
What do you need me to carry in? What do you need me to
Yeah,
like?
I'll be a
I'll
roadie.
speak.
Yeah,
I can lift heavy shit.
You're
Like,
good.
you know.
Yeah. Be a tour manager.
I'll be a
you
roadie.
drive. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
I can't. You know what? Did I ever? I think somebody from your camp actually hit me up when I was working for Outer Known, and I emailed somebody because
We definitely sent out a blast to wave pools, and we're like,
Okay.
"Hey, we'll play free
Hey,
shows."
yeah.
It's gonna happen.
No, I think
I know
in Palm
we did. I
Springs.
know the Iration guys do because those guys surf really well too. I know those guys did. Like, We'll play free shit.
Dude,
If you
that
let
place
us
is-
serve your wave pool. I don't give a fuck.
I haven't done the Waco one yet.
It's fun.
I've done Kelly's pool a bunch of times.
Yeah, let's say. Oh, a bunch
And
of times. Cool.
It's pretty fucking.
I'm sure. It's got to be
It's-
different
it's
than Waco.
bananas.
Yeah, Waco's like real beach breaky and short.
Yeah, it's the perfect shore break
Yeah.
kind of way.
Yeah, you feel like you surf shore break when you're done.
Yeah. The Kelly's pool is like going to.
Are we getting 3 in Palm Springs though?
It's
Are we
supposed to
getting like
be-
the Hobgoods, the Kalani Rob one, and then another one?
Yeah. What's a bummer is Kelly's group, the Kelly Slater style pool, they were supposed to do one there, but they let out a press release that said that the city went against it.
So there's only going to be the 2?
2 or 3.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I don't care. That's
Yeah.
fine.
And then Oceanside is supposed to get one.
Huh?
Yeah.
Put the wave pool by the beach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring sand to the beach.
Yeah, fuck it.
Have you seen the one in Brazil? It's called like Perfect Swell.
I don't know.
Holy shit, Jared! I
What's it look? I'm sure I've seen it. What's
it
it look
kind of
like?
looks like Waco style, but different and better.
Okay.
There's this. I'll show you after we talk, but the Perfect Swell one is so trippy because they do this one setting where waves come together.
Oh, that's right.
And they have this video.
Like a backwash peak that you can hit.
Yeah.
Kinda? Yeah.
They have this video of Rob Kelly on this side and some other guy on this side, and the video is like, boom! They both do airs, like synchronized surfing. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
here?
And it's weird.
Oh.
It's just crazy how like they all use different technology. It wasn't just like one technology
Yeah.
that came out. We're like, all right, cool. Now there's wave pools everywhere. It's like, no. We're gonna do it this way.
Yeah.
Then Kelly's gonna have the sled. Then Magnuson's gonna have these pumps.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, fuck
Yeah.
it. I'll go surf them.
If you can
And the
combine
fucking
them,
plunger.
if they're not
the
proprietary,
plungers, Mad Max.
If
Of
they're-
course, Australian motherfuckers are doing
Yeah.
like. Did they? I thought that was a joke.
It looks
I was like,
Mad
these
Max,
Aussie
right?
dudes purposely
Yeah.
made this
Yeah.
shit look like Mad
Yeah.
Max.
You
Yeah.
fall
Are
on
you
a
fucking
boomerang
kidding
coming
me?
at you from freaking.
Yeah, like you guys aren't doing yourselves any justice by making a Mad Max with all your fucking.
You could have
cliches
painted
on
it white and made it look pretty. It looks fucking
It's
straight
all
up
rusted,
like
yeah.
Waterworld / Mad
Yeah.
Max.
So, what is life like in the Dirty Heads now?
Right this second.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's kind of alluded
It's
to it.
fantastic.
Eighth album just released in August.
Eighth album, I think we're just getting better because now I know how to do all the things I want to do and get all the things I want to get. I know that's very vague, but before it was you were working with producers and songwriters, and sometimes songwriters want to do an album or a song certain ways so they can get on the radio and they can get paid because they don't tour, and like you're getting these people that are like not telling you the truth and they're pushing you and they're pulling you.
There's hidden agendas.
Hidden
within
agendas,
it, yeah.
and you're younger and you're getting pulled in this, but you know the path and you're trying to steer everybody in. Like I said, when we do a song, we know it's going to sound like us because at the end of the day, we kind of have the final say. We grab the wheel, but now I'm in a spot, and we are as a band in the spots where it's like I know the songwriters I want to work with, I know the producers I want to work with, I know how to produce a song now, I know how to write the song now with these producers and build a team and get the sounds that I want and write the songs that I want without outside forces kind of fucking with us.
Yeah.
And the label and radio and our fans have enough trust in us because of our track record now to where like we can kind of
have a little bit more freedom
with the label?
Yeah, we are, but we do a 50-50 deal, so it's pretty independent, and they give us a lot of creative freedom. I mean, almost all. You know, like
Who's your label?
it's called 11-7. They're from New York. They're great. They've been with us for a long time, and they fund us and they believe in us, and they have good ideas sometimes and not great ideas sometimes, but so do we. You know, but we work as a partnership. And I
Collaboration.
love working as a partnership.
Yeah.
You know, but realizing also we came into that partnership independent and doing it on our own, so they know that they trust us. You know, but we're just in a good spot. You know, because our chops are like. My fucking band is so good that I don't have to worry about it. You know, every player is so fucking pro and that's why I don't play an instrument. I don't want to fuck up the dynamic. I don't want to start playing guitar now and coming in with janky ass fucking guitar parts. We call it ugly.
Shut
We call
the
it,
next practice is an
you'd be like, check it out. Oh, there we go. Well, we call them ugly babies, right? Like, if you come up with an idea, it does not mean that idea is good just because you came up with it. right?
Yeah.
Like you have a baby and you're like, this is a beautiful baby. And it's like, it's an ugly baby. It's just beautiful because it's yours, right? So sometimes you got to check yourself. And I feel like if I started maybe playing instruments, it would fuck with that dynamic. When all I have to do is look at my guitar player or my drummer or my bass player and just go, hey, play this, da 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 da, and I go da 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 da. I can just write that shit with my mouth.
You
I don't need to fuck it up.
Yeah,
there's no rolling. There's no rolling.
Well, now that you're all comfortable in your own skin.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just
really. Yeah.
I feel like this album, and from what our fans have said, I feel like this album is our best album since the first one. And usually your first one, it's called we're huge
Midnight
fans.
Control.
We're huge
Midnight
fans.
Control.
Hey, welcome. We got Jared from the Dirty Heads. We're huge fans. What's the album?
Did it come out last year?
You guys play Warped Tour? Yeah, no, it's called
Another one.
It's called Midnight Control. Go check it out. It's hands down our best album that we've had since our first or second one.
So
Because we just know who the fuck we are and we know how to get it.
Is
We're
there
done.
like a program where you're like, okay, we got to do 2 YouTube videos for this, or how like
Streaming
How do you
makes
hack it up?
streaming.
you
Yeah,
know how to like
So we'll usually pick like one to
Okay.
lead. You know, we'll pick it as a band, and we'll be like, we know this is probably gonna work. We love this song. We feel like this is gonna work. We'll shoot a music video for it. Like, so we picked "Life's Been Good," which was that like the cover. It's pretty much the Joe Walsh flip that we did, and it worked. And we knew it was gonna work, so we shot a music video for that. But after you release the album, you just leave it in streaming's hands for a little while, and then you get to look at those numbers, which is dope, right? Like we put out the album, and then we wait 3
How many
months, and then we
views?
go, all right, Island Glow, the pirate song, that one's doing the best. Now let's get a music video for it.
that's rad.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And the label's okay with that, and radio's okay with that. Everybody's okay
Because
with
it doesn't need to all pour out at the same
No,
time.
and
And they're kind of like longevity, that like
Yeah.
song.
That's
It's
why-
like, hey, this is killing it. You got the track record, you see it, and then you drop a video.
Right, that's what I'm
and then
saying.
it just
The
hypes it up
numbers are
again.
there, the gatekeepers are gone because the numbers are there. There's no bullshitting.
Yeah.
The people are telling everybody else what they want to listen to, and we can listen to the people now, and that's fucking cool.
So, in
People's
the history
champs.
of Dirty Heads, what's the biggest, most rewarding song for you?
Life's been good. It's always the latest, you know. It's always the most recent one that's been
Yeah.
successful, you know. So Life's Been Good went to number 3. It was up there with Chili Peppers, Imagine Dragons, the big boys. That felt good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that felt fucking awesome, and we're just, you know, I look at that shit for 5 minutes and then I stop.
And
looking at it.
as an artist and a creator and whatever, and if you're in that realm, you're like, I'm okay being third because, like, you know, like
Yeah.
that is still winning. I mean, you know, like, of course you want to be
Dude,
number one,
you
but
kidding me?
but that is like
I don't care.
that doesn't.
This is how I gauge it. When I show up to shows, are people there and are they having a fucking blast?
Yeah.
That's how I gauge it.
See?
That's how I give a fuck.
After a boga,
Numbers are cool.
this
That's
is-
great. All that shit.
New Jared over here.
I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, number 3. I'm fucking killing it.
Well, before I wouldn't look at it because that shit would give me anxiety.
Anxiety.
Now I just don't fucking care because I just want people to show up and have a good time. You know?
Well, you know, the success and fuck, man, the amount of like years you've been together and had the same like tight knit crew
Yeah.
that's crazy too.
That's
It
That's
is.
a win right there.
I think it has a lot to do with where we grew up, how we grew up, and the people we grew up with. You know, like it growing up in the surf culture, growing up in the skate culture, having older brothers, and just being friends, and like having like kind of enforcers in the group, and older brothers and older friends and shit like that. Just growing up without egos and getting slapped around if you are an asshole. Like we all just grew up as normal people. And we got into the industry and we saw assholes and we said, let's not be that. And we saw really cool people like Jack Johnson. We said, let's be that. And then I've known John Johnson since 3rd grade. I've known Duddy since freshman year.
Yeah.
The rest of the guys we met in our 20s, right? So we've been so tight for so long. We've already gone through the like, you're closer than friends. Now you're brothers. Now you're family. Now you're just something where you see each other all the fucking time. We've already had all the bullshit. We're all grown men. We were always good friends. And we always knew everybody was a good person at the end of the day. That all that shit kind of just went away when we would mindfully talk as a group. Because it's a relationship. As like you watch a documentary about a band imploding, you watch a documentary about Metallica where they're fucking getting a therapist for the band, and we're like, we don't want to do that shit. Clean the tour bus and don't be a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Like,
Very
don't
simple.
Yeah,
don't be
like-
a prima donna.
Yeah,
Just fucking
it's
we're all
simple.
in this.
Yeah, and we're all-
everybody's equal. Like
Everybody's
doesn't matter.
equal.
Like
Check your fucking ego, and if you walk in with an ego, somebody's gonna get slapped.
Yeah.
yeah. call it out.
That's what I like
History.
about the unspoken rules of your fucking crew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of how you grew up in your
Yeah.
childhood.
100%.
You know, like
It's like you didn't have an older brother and you can tell, or you didn't grow up with this
Yeah.
kind of friends, or you didn't grow up skating, you didn't grow up surfing. Like
I'm gonna
you
call.
didn't get
I'm gonna call
bumps.
up my friend now at whether he's 72 or 68 or
I can't
whatever it
tell.
is.
It's
He
not
doesn't tell
Filipino
me.
yeah.
69.
Versus, I'm gonna call him out now like it was when we were teenagers. You know, like
Exactly.
and that's how you got
Yeah.
just great chemistry and great friendship because we are all older, but I'm gonna look at my friends as if we were still
Same
fucking
age.
young bucks and
Same
young,
grom,
you know,
yeah.
like we're all groms, and that's huge.
It is.
That is so important to like be able to, and you know, it's one thing to be friends, but in band, and that's your friends, and those are your coworkers, and those are your brotherhood. To be able to call out somebody, and it's not going to get weird because you're going to laugh it off because like you've been telling me that fucking same shit fucking 20, 30 years
Yeah.
ago, right?
So
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome to be able to sit down and hear your experience because like we've had pretty big people on our show. Successful surfers, successful entrepreneurs. We've had actors, we've had artists, we've had fucking
Everybody.
Yeah.
every walk of life, and to hear your story, which is really crazy, you know, like
Thanks for having me, man.
no, dude, this
Yeah.
is amazing because like your story, even in the music world, probably like other musicians, you know, your peer group,
Yeah.
dude, like
Yeah, it's wild.
It's-
There was a lot of ups and downs, man. You know.
Not just that, but they're probably all fans, but they're all, you know, it's like every, like you mentioning, every group has like their people they look up to. You know, you got the people you look up to. You got all these bands. You're
Yeah.
you're in a spot, but yet the crossover for us is
surfing.
surfing.
Yeah.
We're not this podcast that is gonna match you up with all these other brands and this did that. We're just talking about your journey.
Yeah.
You know, with outside of what your industry is. And I think that's what he's touching on is our show is about surfing and about, you know, what people do within that and whether it's a participation, a hobby, a pro career, or you grew up with it and you're a fucking
They're a huge fucking
huge.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, that's
Rock
why it was
band.
such like a when you asked. Well, it was such like a yes to come and do this because it's just like it's such a cultural thing. Like I think that surfing, as a culture, like keeps you pretty humble. Usually, when there's ego involved, it's pretty looked down upon.
Yeah.
You know, up from the pro level to the beginner
For sure,
level. Like
yeah.
it's just kind of like
That's just
it's not
one-on-one,
how we roll.
right?
You know. And then there's just a certain vibe, like surfing keeps people young. It is a brotherhood
Yeah.
or a sisterhood, or whatever. It's a family. So, and same with music, if you do it right. Like there's just
Yeah, your
music keeps us
brotherhood.
young. You know, like music definitely keeps us young. Surfing keeps me young. Music keeps me young. If
Yeah.
you were able to be creative, you're out there having fun with your friends. Like it's a certain culture that if somebody's like, oh, you're gonna go do this podcast where you're talking about surfing, you're like, oh, you're not going to show up worried and like sketched out and having anxiety because you know it's going to be laid back and it's going to be chill.
Yeah.
It's just part of the culture, you know.
Yeah.
It's something really special, and I think it has a lot to do with why we write the music that we do.
Yeah, you're a great crossover guest, obviously, and that's
For
for
sure.
sure what we're talking about. But it's
You know what I
can't
love?
take the grom out of the adult.
Fuck no.
You know, like
what I love is like, I'm sure there's people across the world because we're globally listened to.
You're the biggest podcast I've ever been on.
But no, seriously, like people that we know and some of them we don't know, when they listen to the podcast, they always say like we get.
how do you know
messages
these people? How did you get a hold of that person?
Or like, God, I know this guy, but I never knew that about that guy,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of cool that we can, you know,
I knew this guy. I didn't know he boogie boards as fucking senior night.
Yeah, I know. I just let it on the
You're
bag.
getting so much shit.
And I was like, here we go. This is
your
fun.
story, like the reason why
Thank you.
I'm like I trip out on the warp thing. I keep bringing that up.
Oh yeah, why are you bringing
You
that up?
suck.
Because like your story you know, the luck factor of how you became successful is pretty big.
Dude, he's ending the podcast on a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
No,
This is all
it's
luck.
not a back. No, not at all.
Dude.
But life is so crazy
No, I'm just kidding.
that you, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
found this guy Duddy,
Yep.
and ninth grade.
Yep.
He's a sophomore. You guys start fucking making big raps.
Just
Right?
I fucking love this.
Just
Right?
selling it. Yes, bro.
You're rapping dick
Yeah,
raps.
we're rapping dicks.
And you're going,
Rapping
oh
dick.
shit, this is kind of funny. This
Yeah.
is kind of
Yeah.
cool.
adolescent shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from there, you turned into.
We're a multi-platinum selling band.
Am I
From
right?
Dicks
Am I-
and jizz and farts.
Dude,
Yes,
like,
dude.
that is fucking
That's what most
mind-blowing.
great things start with. Dicks and
Yeah.
jizz and farts.
When you're
telling you, bro.
when you're a grom, you're just having fun.
You're just having fun.
And then you have, wow, people like this. We have actually maybe some talent. And maybe you're naive and maybe you're like hyper focused, but like you're just feeding off the energy of people listening to you.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
why would these people listen to me?
Then
And we're
Yeah, you're writing
we're-
music for yourself.
Like
you guys
they're
are from
listening to this,
Huntington
they're
Beach,
fucking-
right?
Yeah.
You're from Huntington Beach. You're not in the scene of where the music scene is up in LA.
No.
right?
I'm
Like
so
you're
glad.
you're kind of like on the peripheral of what's going on.
Yeah, we're close
And
enough.
and you're
Nobody's in the scene in LA growing up in LA. They all
Yeah.
come from somewhere. And,
But you know what I'm saying.
But you
It's
know
where
what
the music industry is, yeah.
Where the music industry is, and then you somehow you're at Roxy. You're doing
No.
but you're fucking
Duddy hires
busing.
fucking buses.
You're busing people
You're
up
hustler,
to.
dude.
I think that's
which
the
is
quote of the
genius.
freaking that guy. We got to
Boy.
interview him next.
Oh yeah, we'll get him in here.
Because what if that's a marketing genius?
That's
right there.
marketing genius. Did he learn that from somebody else?
No, he was. You know, he's just that's. how
I
he
would
is.
have thought like, dude, all my friends are gonna get fucking shit faced. Somebody's gonna get DUI. I'm like the
We need
parent.
cheerleaders.
I'm
Let's
like-
fucking fill a bus
Hey,
full.
I'm like the dad of the group. I'm always like the fucking Boy Scout. I'm
Yeah,
always
yeah.
like, dude, I'm like, if we're going up to freaking the Roxy, how we getting there and who's driving? Like,
Yeah.
No, Duddy was a hustler. He was the plug. He was like everybody's plug for a while. So he just like had that brain where he's like, all right, I know how we can make money and like make this work. And like if it wasn't for
Did you
him,
make
we
money on the
wouldn't-
bus ride? Did you charge your
Yes, yeah, 100% you make money.
You had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who needs weed?
Hey,
Yeah, totally, bro.
hey, there's beers on the bus.
Yes.
There's freaking
$3
yeah.
a piece.
Yes.
No.
It was wild, like you know, he just made it happen. If it wasn't for him and having that mind and like having that drive, because I didn't know what the fuck, like I didn't
He
know
came
what
from
I
that
was doing.
family.
Yeah, and he came because I was just like, music, what? Oh, this sounds fun.
Okay,
That's
his
so bad.
family
Yeah.
was his family successful in the music industry, or are they just musicians?
I think they were just musicians. I don't think anybody was like had a
Recording
profession.
or-
Like his mom just had a great voice. She
Yeah.
was singing a lot. I think his dad might have done some acting, but you know they all had like really good voices. His brother was in band.
Came from town.
It was
And
just
then-
super natural, yeah.
Yeah.
And my family was just like listening to cool music on vinyl, like just like everybody else. It wasn't like
So epic.
my parents just listened to good music. They never. That's why it's so weird to me, like today, to look back and be like, I'm a successful musician.
Yeah.
I did not see this
Yeah.
in my cards, you know,
Because
and I love it.
Most parents and family and you know like the heritage is like you kind of fall into the footsteps of what the parents do.
Yeah.
Not always, but you know most of the time.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to
Yeah.
music or some sort of talent. Like you're
And
gonna push your
For
kids.
you
and
guys to
you're
get
like
signed 3 years into it to a major label,
Yeah.
and then get dropped, and then hustle on the Warped Tour,
Yeah.
and you didn't start singing until
Well, I mean, if you say we started at 15, you know, I didn't start singing until 21.
after you signed.
After we signed.
Yeah.
It worked out. I'm still trying to learn how to sing.
you know what?
That's just so.
Singing's hard.
Yeah.
Singing is hard. I mean,
It's hard.
making,
Writing.
I love it, though.
having one
Everything's
successful
hard.
song is one thing. Having a collection of albums.
Yeah, that was nice. Like after we had like multiple like top fives and multiple number ones, I was like, okay,
Yeah, you
cool.
made it.
This is cool. But I never, like I said, I never doubted that was going to happen.
That's crazy
Yeah.
to think that you never doubted that.
Again,
You know?
that was
And
it.
that's just blind
I just-
ambition.
Yeah, I just believe it. No, it wasn't blind ambition, dude.
It's not.
I just believe that original shit usually works. And I knew it was original, but I knew it was good. I knew there was talent.
Well,
Hey,
all the trials and tribulations, you knew that was your calling.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
and you follow your dream
100%.
and your passion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, fucking
2 hours and 40
Good job,
minutes.
boys. Good job.
fucking
Jeez.
Dirty J, Dirty Heads right here.
Yeah.
You heard it.
Drop me, Jay.
Rock it. Can you give us? Did you have the handle on the boogie? Like you know,
No,
like-
bro.
He had the arm.
I had
reach,
the web gloves.
Shut the
no,
front
no,
door.
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I had all that shit.
No.
I did. I had
You did get-
TFLs and I had the apes. I tried it
You
all
used to
out.
boogie Southside with us all the time.
Dude, I had the handle. I had the Skags. Mach
Skags?
10, Mach 7.7. I did it all.
You had Skags.
Fuck, at one point, yeah.
Were you drop me here too?
I tried, but no, I think I
This is making me feel so much better about myself.
Hey, I'm throwing myself
kidding.
out there.
No,
man.
I'm proud of you,
I
dude.
think
We're a dirty little bar
didn't
shop.
get- I didn't get a-
on the surf side.
I got a hand-me-down. My brother started surfing. I didn't get a board when my brother got a board. I got kind of like a couple years later his hand-me-down, or a year later, or 6 months. I don't know.
The
Anyway.
show's not about late
Yeah.
night.
Hey.
The show's about dirty heads.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Jared Watson.
Thank you.
So sorry.
Dude,
That was epic.
thank
Guys,
you
good
for
boys. That's fun.
sharing your stories.
Of course,
that
yeah,
was
that's
freaking
rad.
amazing.
I knew it was going to be.
Can you take your shirt off for a guest? I mean,
Yeah.
Lyndon. I mean, she shows her
Shirtless in
tattoos.
Seattle,
Oh.
like, you were
Can,
in
can
Seattle?
we,
Oh.
we're gonna do some plugs right now.
Yes.
So, Mike
Okay, hold on.
Melia,
Hold on.
you hold on. He's gonna start it
Okay,
again.
go.
Thank you to Left Coast Novelties, Mike Melia, for the awesome truckers, late night with chalky hats.
We look so good in hats.
Look at those guys, they're beautiful.
He's got hair, I don't, but
Thank
you
you.
know, that's why we wear hats.
If you were going to
Mentalities.
November sessions,
I can't wear this tomorrow, when you say?
shade, no, you can
Every
wear
day.
whatever,
Fuck
but
yeah. I actually
Because you
needed
were
one of these sets. I just ran out of my face.
that stuff's really good.
Your surfing war paint.
Thank you, Strider Razalewski.
Just live.
Oh, dude! We do have two.
Yeah.
Immunity, Just Live,
Focus.
CBD, and Focus. I don't know if you
There's
did
no
Focus.
THC
You're
in that,
fucking
you guys.
totally-
It's just straight up
I'm
like
focused right
You're
now.
totally
Dude,
focused.
imagine on this.
Bro.
Dialed.
And then,
Are those your signatures?
bonsai.
that's
No.
JB.
No.
Bonsai. Couple.
Joe Bard.
Thank
Bonsai
you.
Bowls.
I'm a fan.
Huh?
Good
Thank
fan.
you, Shoots.
I'm a fan.
Thank you,
Ashland.
Ashland.
Villager Spirits.
Villager. You never know what we're gonna drink. We're always drinking.
And dude, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Frickin' I hope you get to go on your Mentalize
I
trip
know,
this
that's
year.
really what's important.
That's
Yeah.
what's really important.
That's what's really important.
Yeah.
That's what's really on my mind.
Yeah. See you on the south side down the beach.
Bar.
Yeah.